for another 18. She asked me where I'm at when it comes to dating. Can't you see that I don't wanna talk yet? And I probably won't answer if you call my phone. Always asking why I put her in a friend zone. Saying she nearby at another friend's home. I don't wanna see another sunset.
She don't wanna see another sunset where the stars don't show, cause the clouds are upset for me. Told you I was trying, change your mind and I'm dying. You don't wanna see another star fall from the sky like that. You don't wanna see me fall from grace. Maybe I was trapped, but you never had my back. Fall for the sake of love, and I felt so miserably. Yeah, you could've hit me up, I never lost my love. I was hoping you would call back. I know that I'm far from greatness, and the way that we trade places. Had to stop for a moment, you can see it in my eyes that I'm hoping.
It's been 18 days since I kept her waiting. Probably won't last for another 18. She asked me where I'm at when it comes to dating. Can't you see that I don't wanna talk yet? And I probably won't answer if you call my phone. Always asking why I put her in a friend zone. Saying she nearby at another friend's home. I don't wanna see another sunset. You don't wanna see me fall like that. Wipe the tears off the blade when you pull it out my bag. When you told me you could die just to keep me like that. When I looked you in her eyes and I heard your voice cry. Baby, it was love, baby, it was tough. Maybe it's enough, lost a lot of blood, left me in the cut. Baby, it was trust, baby, now it's dust. Crying to my cuz, leaning on my bruh, twisted in my gut. It's been 18 days since I kept her waiting. Probably won't last for another 18. She asked me where I'm at when it comes to dating. Can't you see that I don't wanna talk yet? And I probably won't answer if you call my phone. Always asking why I put her in a friend zone. Saying she nearby at another friend's home. I don't wanna see another sunset. It's been 18 days since I kept her waiting. Probably won't last for another 18. She asked me where I'm at when it comes to dating. Can't you see that I don't wanna talk yet? And I probably won't answer if you call my phone. Always asking why I put her in a friend zone. Saying she nearby at another friend's home. I don't wanna see another sunset. I don't wanna see another sunset. I don't wanna see another sunset.
Oh, na, na, na. Yeah. Give me the island breeze, cool them vibes. Coconut jelly, peas and rice. House and land, and we sharp like a knife. Green in abundance, real love around me, yeah. You want to know where we coming from? Say you want come look for me, yeah. If you're willing to have some fun, I could keep you company. Move that way, come girl, blunder right by me. Squeeze that tight, make it trip down there. Neighbor, oh, yes, you kindly. Miss Jolie, know your mango sweet, so Jolie, know your mango sweet. Tell me how it ripe and sweet, so Jolie, know your mango sweet. It's been a while, yeah. Jolie, know your mango sweet. Since we built a vibe, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, yo, so let me build it. Girl grind fine like chili baby. Real things start, I no time for no gimmicks. Good vibes only, keep that around me, keep that around me. Let me build it, move that waist one time skillfully. Girl, you know you look so fine naturally. Real vibes only, keep that around me. Keep that around watch how the vibes them sweet, cool and nice. Whole thing set up, peace on my mind. Roll that thing and we take flight. Trees in abundance, see it all around me, yeah. So let we jam with the heart and love. All our we is family, yeah. It's all long on the ground, girl. You know that this is the season, baby. See that it? Nothing sweeter, girl, know it. Don't throw stone, girl, I go pick. Neighbor, oh, ask you kindly, Miss Jolene. Jolene. Tell me how it ripe and sweet, so. It's been a while, yeah. Oh, yeah. When you're giving up, yeah. Call me. So let me build it. Girl grind fine like chili baby. Real things start, I no time for no gimmicks. Good vibes only, keep that around me, keep that around me. So let me build it, move that waist one time skillfully. Girl, you know you look so fine naturally. Real vibes only, keep that around me, keep that around me. Neighbor, oh, neighbor, oh. Them vibes, coconut jelly, peas and rice, house and land, I'm sharp like a knife. Trees in abundance, see it all around me, yeah. You want to know where we coming from? Say you have something for me, yeah. The thing up on the ground, girl, you know that this is the season, baby. Miss Jolene, 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 yeah.
Success we preach, so you know we are forget it. We no wait around for life, it's often like it has spaghetti. We are chase on the money life, sweeter than the honey lights. It was a sweet wine, we no want to end it. And we can't push past, life don't reverse, so me keep pressing on. See me boots well beat, so you know the road long. Journey me the pan like season around. We are get so high, can't see ground. Level up, but mind can't keep down. Said I'm not relevant, them are dreamers. Live life, so we know where we come from. We are get so high, can't see ground. Level up, but mind can't keep down. Said them not relevant, them are dreamers. Live life, so we know where we take it from a realist. My problems, me delete it. That I know my load, so me I go try to relieve it. And my life, me I live it. And this time when I study bad mind, we defeat it. Take a shot and pull a big split. I take a trip up on a big ship, life is connected. If you know how we live it, I feel like we are alive. We are get so high, can't see ground. Level up, but mind can't keep down. Said I'm not relevant, them are dreamers. Live life, so we know where we come from. We are get so high, can't see ground. Level up, but mind can't keep down. Said them not relevant, them are dreamers. Live life, so we know where we come from. Success we preach, so you know we are forget it. We no wait around for life, it's often like it has spaghetti. We are chase on the money life, sweeter than the honey lights. It was a sweet wine, we no want to end it. And we can't push past, life don't reverse, so me keep pressing on. See me boots well beat, so you know the road long. Journey me the pan like seasons around. We are get so high, can't see ground. Level up, but mind can't keep down. Said I'm not relevant, them are dreamers. Live life, so we know where we come from. We are get so high, can't see ground. Level up, but mind can't keep down. Said I'm not relevant, them are dreamers. Live life, so we know where we come from. We are get so high, can't see ground. Level up, but mind can't keep down. Said I'm not relevant, them are dreamers. Live life, so we know where we come from. We are get so high, can't see ground. Level up, but mind can't keep down. Said I'm not relevant, them are dreamers. Live life, so we know where we come from. Walk out on them. We do it easy, run out on them. When we leave, we are solve problems. On the job, in the streets, we are cause problems. Walk out on them. We do it easy, run out on them. When we leave, we are solve problems. In the streets, we are cause problems.
wanna cry about it. In the room with the lights off, drowning in my sadness, thinking and regretting. All I ever really asked for is honesty. For you to be just real with me. But I didn't want you to see I am guilty. Guilty. Cause you couldn't please me. I am guilty. Guilty. Why did I just leave? Maybe I was fine with being one place at a time. I just wanted you to know how I really feel about it. I don't wanna hurt you. I don't wanna lose you either. You wasn't giving me what I wanted. I had to look around. Soul ties, stick ties, head in a lock with my lies. Though I leave sunrise, you all have fun times. Wasting your time, no I've been lying. It is what it has to be. I am guilty. Guilty. Cause you couldn't please me. I am guilty. Guilty. Why did I just leave? Caught in all my lies. Sometimes I just wanna cry about it. In the room with the lights off, drowning in my sadness, thinking and regretting. All I ever really asked for is honesty. For you to be just real with me. But I didn't want you to see I am guilty. Guilty. Cause you couldn't please me. I am guilty. Guilty. Why did I just leave?
Hey, Mr. Gardener, give me one good reason why you work so hard. You say it's for your family, but I know it's a bitter price for security. System ain't right. The rules were made to ease your mind. So hey, Mr. Gardener, I'm hoping you're right, but give me a reason. Give me a reason to believe in heaven. Give me a reason. Give me a reason, cause I done been through hell. Hell already. Hell already, neighbor. Hell already. Clinging on to my senses. Hey, Miss Lucky Charm, give me one good reason. You dance in the dark. You say that life is beautiful, but all I see is darkness, and I'm standing in the sun. She said maybe it's a shadow. Maybe it's a shadow watching over you. So hey, Miss Lucky Charm, I'm hoping you're right, but give me a reason. Give me a reason to believe in heaven. Give me a reason. Give me a reason, cause I done been through hell. Hell already. Hell already, neighbor. Hell already. Clinging on to my senses. Mr. Carpenter, have you seen the people bow to you? And old with voices scream to me, they wanna worship the sky when the sky is blue. Who will you become when it is over? When will you believe?
10:51 on a Friday. Time to move, grab a crew, cause we all day. You on my mind, can't seem to slow down. Yeah, I feel the vibe. Got me holding on. Show us anyone. It's like you're the one and I'm delusional. I want you, take me there. Talk nice to me, feel that, baby. I want you, take me there. Talk nice to me. Like that, when I'm whining on it like that. Wanna grind upon it like that. When I'm moving closer like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. Wanna hold you longer like that. Got me feeling on it like that. Wanna bump and grind it like that, like that, like that, like that, like that.
Hold on to me, baby. I'll take you there. No time, no fair. Hold on to me, baby. I'll take you there. Cause when you rock so, hold on tight before you drop low. Ever since I spot you, we'll hold you close like a lasso. And girl, you know I got to. Once you wrong me, you know I got you. You could live a little, give a little. One this night, then and you say no. Tryna play it cool, but you're not regular. No lie, girl, I rough up my temperature. Would have been a fool if I didn't let you go. That body excellent, the way it's flexing up on me.
Like that, when I'm whining on it like that. Wanna grind upon it like that. When I'm moving closer like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. Wanna hold you longer like that. Got me feeling on it like that. Wanna bump and grind it like that, like that, like that, like that, like that.
Hold on to me, baby. I'll take you there. No time, no fair. Hold on to me, baby. I'll take you there.
Would you hear, girl, no, no, no. Oh my God, give me again, yeah. No, no. What we do is between you and I, between you and I, between you and I. And what we do is between you and I, yeah. Between you and I, between you and I. Him not know if we do with a body there, yeah. Bring it over the for me. She say her boyfriend I live New York. She tell me she never get touch from a Trinity. Well, alright, come over me yard now, girl. One thing when me want you understand. What we do that our business. The longer the secret, the longer the
Now we celebrate. Now we celebrate. Celebrate with Caribbean. Whenever we celebrate, wherever we celebrate, whenever celebrate with Caribbean. Whenever we celebrate, wherever we celebrate, whenever celebrate with Caribbean. Now we celebrate, now we celebrate, celebrate with Caribbean.
Caribbean Tropical Hard Cider. Drink responsibly.
Would you hear, girl, no, no, no. Oh my God, give me again, yeah. No, no. What we do is between you and I, between you and I, between you and I. And what we do is between you and I, yeah. Between you and I, between you and I. Him not know if we do with a body there, yeah. Bring it over the for me. She say her boyfriend I live New York. She tell me she never get touch from a Trinity. Well, alright, come over me yard now, girl. One thing when me want you understand. What we do that our business. The longer the secret, the longer the fun. What we do is between you and I, between
can add me, subtract your clothes. Minus your boyfriend, multiply shows. You see the freak in you. Love when me put it deep in you, baby. She only cheat on him cause he don't know what he has. I could be everything you need, just keep it between us. All we do is between you and I. Between you and I. Between you and I. And what we do is between you and I. Between you and I. Between you and I.
Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to Islandgirl Talk. We're your hosts. I'm Krystal, Khayne.
Trinidad, Shawna.
Neicy. Yes, people. Episode 33, you know. All you counting down, all you counting this. But we're really good on here, boy.
After 30, like when you reach a certain age.
Gosh.
You just stick on that number. Yeah.
All you. We have a show.
We have apparently. Show.
We take it.
Singing. Show in.
Oh gosh. Well, as always, guys, welcome to the show. Thanks y'all who already waiting, locked in, ready to chat and chime in with us.
Locked and loaded.
Ladies, greetings and salutations.
Greetings. She sounds so formal when she said that. As
Greetings and salutations.
It used to be greetings and pleasantries, but I like salutations better.
I like pleasantries.
Yeah? How do we go, y'all?
God is good.
Oh gosh.
God is good.
It sounded like you had a doozy.
Yes, God is.
This week was a doozy.
This morning was a doozy, but listen, God is good.
Hi, I hear that.
That was good.
Shawna?
Well, my weekend was so hectic.
Oh gosh, yes.
I didn't even get to wash clothes or do anything. But moves were Saturday, which is really good vibes. Congratulations to Legacy. They won the $20,000.
Lovely.
Yes. And
lovely.
on Sunday, we had our event.
I was now waiting to see who was going to bring it
that
up.
we hosted at.
We had an event.
Hey. Don't let Cindy hear you say that, you know. Yes, guys, we had this SAS event this past Sunday. Sundress, sandals, and shades. It was a brunchy type of event.
Yeah.
Celebration of womanhood.
But it didn't
really
start
was.
around brunch. It started around 3. But it had that kind of, it was geared toward women, like Neicy said. It's a celebration of womanhood where a lot of female vendors got to come and promote their businesses, their products, and that type of thing. It was a lovely, lovely, lovely event put on by Cindy Thomas, right? From Sin City. She's based out in Miami, where she puts on a lot of really awesome events.
It was the first of its kind in Trinidad. It's well known in Miami, and it touched down on Trinidad soil, and it was successful.
Must say,
I have a lot of persons
a
asking, what event is this? And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And it was my first time being to that venue.
Yes, La Soledad is where it was, up in Maracas, St. Joseph.
But we don't talk about the venue because you all know my little hiccup in the different estates throughout Trinidad.
not
But
go there.
Neicy ended up in Estate 101. It was like, with the music, with the cars,
with the people.
everybody.
It wasn't at Estate 101, it was La Soledad Estate.
Yes.
What I go in Maraval. This one is in Maracas.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Pressure.
Yes, but yeah, it really was a great event. Island Girls Talk first event outside of the studio, and we look forward to doing more. Guys, we haven't really started to post much yet, but we're going to flood the Instagram with posts and clips and stuff from the day, right? So look out for that and that kind of thing. And thanks again to Cindy Thomas and Sin City for including Island Girl Talk in that event.
Yes.
Right, guys, come in. Please share the live. Please like and share the stream so that YouTube could recognize us. Please.
Let us bribe YouTube
and put us on the playlist.
Yes.
Yeah, that's that.
Help us bribe YouTube, please.
Please and thanks. So like and share the stream. Copy and paste the link to your social media and share it. Thank you so much. Remember to call us at 466-4-O-U-R. That's 466-4687 and chat with us, okay? And for those of y'all who would like to promote your music on our platform, remember you can send us your music to music@OURradio.fm. Again, the email address is music@OURradio.fm if you would like us to promote your music on the show as well as on the other programs of O.U.R Radio. All right? And yeah, with that, what are we doing? We commence. All right, so guys, today's topic.
Juicy.
Wait. Ananias, where we music? We don't hear no background music. We want to hear we background music.
Juicy?
Yeah. Right.
Oh, this
so
one?
it's juicy, it's steamy.
I'm not hearing it, but
Right?
hearing
Raise mine. Yes. I raise it now.
Not,
All right, guys. We just organizing a little
We love
background
music.
stuff. Yeah. We like to hear it playing in the back.
Okay.
Nice.
Good vibe.
We can now break out under the table.
All right. So, guys, this topic is something that I'm sure many women can relate to, right? And the topic is it selfish for a woman to not want children? Let me repeat that. Is it selfish for a woman to not want children? Right? Now, we know, the gambit. Woman sees man, falls in love, has relationship, possibly gets engaged, married.
Family.
Children. That's the run of the mill, but I mean also either, if not marriage, long-term relationship, baby daddy, whatever the case might be. The point is, relationships would usually result in procreation.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's the usual thing. It's expected as women. And of course, society, they're not too subtle when it comes to hinting our families and stuff, but you reach a certain age, a certain time, they feel your biological clock should be ticking. It's like, hey, I want my grandchildren with my grands. You don't have a boyfriend yet. I know I just get that. You don't have a boyfriend yet. You know what I mean? And I know you all probably get it too. Like, what's going on?
I'm the oldest.
Neicy, what's going on?
I'm the oldest. But here's the funny thing. It's weird because my mom had me young, so I didn't get it at first because of obviously she don't want the cycle repeated.
Yes.
Right.
But then you go on the straight and narrow and you become an upstanding member of society. Right? And then all of a sudden the same mom who was like, don't get pregnant, telling you,
Get
where
pregnant.
the grandchild. It's like, pick your struggle.
Mind.
Pick your struggle. So I understand.
And they were thinking 2022, it's perfectly acceptable to not, it's normal to not want kids, at least in this day and age, but you would find that there's still societal norms that dictate that we should have kids. Women should have kids by a certain time. Of course, even scientifically, it's like, have them before you're 35, because your chances, you're going to lose your eggs, no eggs, It's like, and all around me, women in their 40s and even early 50s getting pregnant. I like eggs nothing. We have all we eggs, what you telling me, But Neicy was going to say something.
No, I was just going to touch on basically the fact, like, I like how we have in this particular conversation because it's stuff that women talk about, like, in the circles. But a lot of the times, this is not to the forefront. Especially the angle that we taking, because normally it's like a 4, like go in the direction of it.
Yeah.
Versus like, okay, if you decide not to, then these might be some of the reasons why somebody would actually decide not to, you know, and kind of just like, I feel it's like we've
So it's a form of awareness.
Yeah, like debunking some of the myths associated with this particular topic.
Right.
And just to clarify, we are not condoning not having children. And let me just say right now, I want kids or a child. Let me say that I want a child. A child, thank
Singular.
you. One, singular. Right? But the thing with me is, if the right setting and the right recipe doesn't present itself for a child to be had, then I'm not gonna stress too much about it, but it would be nice. So I'm one of those women who wants to have a child. I don't run down, I don't have the mindset, well, oh my God, you gotta get married and this and that. No, but I do want a child.
Right,
You know what I mean? So just to let you all know out there, we're not going with the whole don't have kids kind of thing. We're not promoting that. And no, we do think that a woman has a right to choose, though. Whether she wants to have kids or not is totally up to her. But just in case people a little confused, like the girl said, the ladies said, we spreading awareness in terms of reasons why. And there are some very valid reasons as to why a woman might want to have a child in this day and age. And that's her prerogative. You know what I'm saying?
I would have to admit at first, like hearing it off the top of your head, it sounds very selfish. But when I was going through the reasons and doing research and stuff, some valid points.
Yeah.
Really, really valid points.
Yeah.
And then, it's argued that when women don't have kids, they really lose the joy
Yeah.
of motherhood.
It's always like, what would be your purpose then?
Yeah.
You're going to lose the true meaning of what it is to be a woman and this and that.
And then they will come and tell you, if you don't make a child, you will regret that later on in life. So you kind of get that judgmental or the expectations pushed on women because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You are on this earth to procreate. So you're not really fulfilling your
We're
purpose.
going to take care of you when you get old and this and that. And I mean, I get those, you know, it's something to think about.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that women who choose not to have kids actually think about that more than people who actually have kids.
Yes.
If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because it is something to think about. Like, really, who going to take care of me when I get old, boy? Old age home for me? You know? But it's still... it's a touchy one, y'all. You know what I mean?
And on the flip side of that, because on one side it is they arguing that we're probably selfish or we're not fulfilling our purpose. But then now you have the woman arguing, but is it selfish to bring a child into the world and I can't even care for them properly?
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of women would argue that.
Yeah.
That I would think that if you were still grappling with the idea, if it's not a clear-cut conviction in your soul, then I don't condone having a child. If it's still a question mark for you, because some women are just born to be mothers. Like, I know, based on my experience where my mother wasn't in my life, I know I know what mistakes not to make. I would be a fantastic mother. I already know. I feel it in my bones.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same
I think
time,
so too when you're so organized.
yes, but at the same, yes, girl,
And strict.
you know when
Be the disciplinarian.
you know when I get to babysit my friends' children, I let them, the parents, they had to write down timetable for me. You know what time they get feed, what time this, what time is snack time. Do they have nap time? And I stick to that. You know, don't play with me and play with me.
I would say I've been on both sides of this fence. So I excited to have the conversation because I've been the one that was like, I don't
Not
want kids.
sure. Yeah.
I don't have maternal instincts.
Serious?
No, listen. I was like
I would never
career.
guess.
I was like career and a partner. I wasn't even thinking marriage. I was thinking a partner. Kids would have been, but I was like, I didn't mind adopting a child if they came from a place where they don't have like parents, like an orphan, and giving them a home and providing. But I was never thinking it would have come through the traditional route
Of you.
Yeah.
And then the 30s hit. And then something went off.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
Yeah.
the butterflies in the belly started.
Oh, look at life happening
I'm
to
like-
Neicy.
What's going on here? What's this about? Like all of a sudden, like I didn't have patience with kids. Like they cry too loud, and I'm
Yeah.
annoyed. And all of a sudden, it's like leave the child alone. They probably just want something to.
Yeah.
Where?
You see, so again, that is right timing for you. So as Chris said, you would have that instinct, So you
Yeah.
shouldn't really go against it because probably it is selfish to mistreat a child. You make the child and then is no genuine
A lot
love.
of people, they have, like, I mean, for the people who like to say, hey, women who don't want to have kids, they're selfish or they want to just live life as is. That may be. But what is more selfish? Bringing a child into the world that you're not sure you want or you're not sure that you're ready for, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
having your own lifestyle that you want to live. Is it selfish or more selfish than bringing a child into the world that A, you can't take care of, B, you don't have the emotional capacity to take care of
mistreating them.
Yeah, you know,
You
my
forget to
children
your
getting
tolerance.
abused.
You forget to pick them up from school.
It's have
You
a
leave them
lot.
by granny.
Abused, you know, much children getting abused. Like, no, don't bring children into the world
I
if you're not
think
ready for them.
For me, when I was not thinking to have kids, it was honestly for me personally, I won't say this is across the board, it was coming from a place of selfishness where I was just focused on me.
Right.
So to see somebody else in that picture that I have to be responsible for, I'm like, why would I choose that? You understand? And I also like having friends who have kids who were planned and also the ones that weren't. I see both sides of the fence.
Right.
And honestly, it's my honest opinion that not everybody cut out for motherhood. It takes a certain grace for that. It takes a certain patience, a level of unconditional love. And if you don't have those tools, you basically creating your child into a space where later on your child have to recover from you as a parent. You understand?
Yeah.
Because you don't know how to deal with certain things, and they basically you experimenting with this child because
Speak
you
the
ain't
truth,
gone
Niece.
into this knowing or even trying to have the capacity to figure this out, and later on in life your child have to recover from having you as a parent.
I have a question for you. Actually, let's go to
ask that question.
Okay.
Ask that question. I don't want that question to get lost.
I was thinking that I kind of lose my train of thought, that's why I was playing it off for the comments. Well played, Shawna. But then Chris put me on the spot. Just now, let me see if I can remember.
All right, let me go to the comments.
Yeah, let's go to the comments. Sorry,
because we have a lot of people saying stuff. Of course, Casey and Nancy is first again with the spider web. I swear, Casey, if you don't talk to us, right, don't get me vexed, huh?
That probably have so much meanings and we don't know.
Yeah, we have Markista in the house. Hi, Markista. Or Makista, sorry. She says, hi, ladies of the noon o'clock. Sending love to all the Star X, pronounced stars, to all the stars out there. Well, thank you. Thank you. We have Krystal Fields in the house.
Hey.
Long time no
What's
see.
up, girl?
She says, hi, pretty ladies. It's been quite a while. Pleasant afternoon to you all. Great topic chosen. This should be interesting. Yeah. Yes, indeed. We have Kirby Young Designs. He says,
Kibbs.
Hey. He says, good day, ladies. We have Makista back again saying, no, it's not selfish to not want children. Children are a blessing, but expensive. And it doesn't get easier until they are capable of handling life on their own.
Right. As she said that, and I remember.
Tell us.
So, what are your thoughts on the comment, you would never truly be ready? You think that's something that we also have to consider? Because, people say you'll never truly be ready for marriage. You'll never truly be ready for kids. You'll never truly be ready for certain ventures. That you just have to take the leap of faith.
No, I disagree with that. I agree that you would never fully be ready in terms of you can't see the future. But if you have a desire, that even starts the race of you being ready.
Right.
There's a difference with somebody desiring to be married, get married, and not be ready and willing to work and figure it out because they desire it.
Indeed.
Versus somebody who's thrown into a marriage saying they don't want to go into this and you're telling them, go.
Nice.
Yes.
A big difference.
Well said.
So you'll never be ready, of course, but then...
You should have the desire.
You want to do it, so you're okay to not be ready because ultimately
eventually
you want kids.
We
you know
weren't ready for Island Girl Talk. Look at us now.
I was ready. I've been ready.
We are still figuring it out.
Hey. We ready here.
Ready.
Hello. Don't get me going down another
Chris
road.
was born ready. This is Chris' baby. When I say we wasn't ready in terms of let me speak for me. I can't speak for Sean. I got a call. I had a meeting. We gelled, and it was like, okay, this is something I desire media because I'm a part of media. So it's just like, I don't know what this is, but let's figure it out.
Yes.
Versus you're pulling me, kicking and screaming to go. It's a big difference. So let me just
Nice save, there, Neicy. Nice save.
Krystal ready to be like, whoa,
we ready like Freddy.
Yeah.
Should I continue?
Yeah.
We have Louvage or Louvaje, depending on whether it's Spanish or not. Right, Louvage or Louvage, all kind of saying Noel in the house, and he's definitely new, or she. She says having children is a choice, not an obligation. Indeed. And then we have Candace Skis in the house saying, big up to all you ladies. It takes a lot to have children, not just financially, but mentally as well. Hello. Talk the talks, Hello. A lot of people go into depression after having kids, but we go save that for later. Krystal Fields is back and she says, my children were unplanned pregnancies, and even though I wasn't fully prepared, I never flunked in my responsibilities as a parent. And today, looking at my teen boys, I'm one hell of a proud mom. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yes, snaps for you, Krystal.
I could attest to that. She's a great mother.
Really. Big up you, Krystal. We have Marv Monty in the house. Hey, Marv. He says, blessed day to all tuned in and in attendance. Same to you. We have Giles Wilson giving some flames.
Happy birthday, Giles.
Serious?
Who's Giles?
Happy birthday. Chris, sing along.
Huh?
Sing something.
Who's Giles?
Chris with the vocal.
Happy birthday, Giles. We have Marv Monty saying, I'm going to say something unpopular.
No problem.
But some people shouldn't be able to make kids because they will end up making pests to society. Oh, God.
I think that let me clean that up. I
Talk,
think
talk,
that's the
talk.
same point I was making earlier. If you're not ready for that, and your child have to recover from you being a parent in terms of the trauma
Yes.
side of things. Yeah, I think
Neicy
it comes
said it
from
in a nicer way,
Yeah.
but indeed, and don't worry, it's not unpopular. Many
Yeah.
people think that, right? Marv Monty goes on to say, not everyone is capable of raising a decent human being.
Yeah.
Facts. Fire Wolfman is in the house. Hi, Fire Wolfman.
hi.
He says, greetings, ladies, and everyone tuned in. Not selfish at all. And personally, right now, I'm being selfish too, if that was the case. Indeed. Brent LeBen says, hey.
Time's hard.
Hi, Brent. I think he's new. The Makista says, let's be real. I have 2 children, thankfully a boy and a girl, but younger. I choose not to have children. So she means in her younger days, she chose not to have children. She goes on to say, honestly, having children younger makes sense. So when you are 40 plus, you won't be taking care of them.
Right.
Yes.
That is actually an interesting point.
Yeah.
Because
Chris on the fence.
in countries like I believe Canada, in India, in even Nigeria, they don't have laws. They don't have laws in place to not have kids, but they do suggest that you keep like a minimum amount.
China too.
Yeah, China. Well, actually for China it was worse because China at one point passed a one child per household in the 80s. So I mean, I don't think as the other countries are strict, but they do advocate for having children between 18 and 35. So these countries actually do that 18 to 35 limit, and some of them even say have about 2 children in a maximum of 5 years. So these countries say you could have the children, but within those 5 years, try not to have more than 2.
Those countries are the ones that like under the governing of where they do a lot of futuristic projections in terms of the country GDP and all these different things and the workforce and stuff. They basically like maintaining the society with if this amount of children born, they project it. A lot of other places, like especially the western side, it's more
anyhow. But on the flip side, Canada, like countries like Canada and Sweden, actually don't have a number. You know, they're giving you incentives. If you make children, they're giving you fees to mind your kids.
Canada is one of the perfect countries to have children in.
It's because they are developing their country, so they want the population and stuff. Again, it comes from an economical perspective.
As somebody who lived in Canada as well, I saw where your single moms especially have all these grants from the government for having kids and that kind of thing. Like, listen, it's unreal.
It's even with like the workforce as well, they have a lot of things where they tell you, come here, we would give you a job, we would give you a house, we would give you, there's the ones to come across because they're developing.
Now, interestingly enough, with regards to your point, Shawna, I read online though that it is more advisable to have children later on in life because in your 20s and your 30s, when you're building your career, let's say you have a business or whatever the case may be, it's easier to fulfill these goals early in life, and then when you're mentally prepared, you can now bring a child into the world. You're better prepared for them. I read online in an article that a lot of women feel like this is the right time to have a child, even though it is not recommended biologically, because then the risks and all that are involved.
So that is probably the reason why the countries will push 18 to 35 based on risk.
Childbearing age.
We have 3 more comments from Katie C. Katie C in the house. Katie, feel free to call in, you know.
To it.
Katie says, hi, queens.
Beat you to it.
She says, Ananias and listeners, hi. She says, great topic. I fell in a trap. She said, I fell in the trap of everyone telling me I need to have kids soon. It took the joy out of life, and certain decisions were made because of that pressure. Lord. She says, but now we cruise in. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's how I feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She says, I believe women have the right to choose if they want kids or not, and the right to change their minds along the way. It's a huge holistic responsibility. Indeed. We have Lendell. He just put a comment. He says, good day, guys. Blessed day to you all. Island Girl Talk girls. All women don't want children because of business and other goals they want to accomplish. Not just that, Lendell, but that is a good point. Right? A lot of women are career oriented and they want to look after, their careers and their lifestyles and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Who may see it as selfish, that's fine. Others may see it as a viable reason. person, you know, but that's not the only reason. Some women just don't have that maternal instinct, or they've been through some type of trauma and they're afraid to have other kids and repeat the cycle, but we'll get to that later. Katie just chimed in. She says, it really depends on the person on when to have kids. Exactly. She says, I don't think there isn't a she says, I don't think there's a hard, fast formula on when, but someone can be ready at 25 and another can be ready at 35.
Yeah.
You know? So, indeed. And that's it for the chat rooms. Right? I think this might be an interesting one, guys. Because, I mean, we could relate too as women who don't have kids yet. And I think for me, though, personally, I do believe that one of the main reasons I haven't had a kid yet is because I've not met the right person. Like I said, I'm not looking to get married per se. Marriage is not a big thing on my agenda. But at least I would like to procreate with the right person, the right thinking, someone who has similar views as mine when it comes to child rearing.
Right.
You know?
She said rearing.
Yeah, raising your child right.
It sounds like livestock.
Like an animal.
Right? No. Dahlia, diva, boss lady. Hello, Dahlia. She knew. Welcome. She says, I think it's their choice. We think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah? So, guys, you're ready to get into it? All right. So ladies and...
Sean's take on the topic, though.
What do you mean? I was talking.
No, in terms of personally, like you want to have kids.
No, I want to have kids, but I don't know when I would be ready.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a fair.
Yes. Well, I'm ready. I just saying, if I ain't find the right person, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I refuse to bring a child into this already volatile world that just seems to be going down without the right partner / co-parent. You know what I mean? So that's just me in a nutshell.
Chris, you want to take it away with that point one time, as you're already on that one in particular?
Sure.
Go, Chris.
So what we're going to do now for you all, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to list some of the reasons why a woman may choose not to have a child, right? Because the whole idea is like children that don't want kids, they're selfish. But that's not always the case. So we want to give you all some of the reasons. There's a lot. Because when we did the research, there's like hundreds of reasons. We could only take a few of the most common ones.
Yeah.
And one of that is the point that I just made. They have not found the right person yet, right? So whether a woman chooses to have a child by themselves or with someone, because not, like I said, not everyone running down marriage, you know what I mean? But at the same time, they want to be in a committed situation. And by commitment, I mean at least to the child with somebody who is the right type of individual that can be a parent. Quite frankly, I don't want a kind of waste of time man that is going to bring raise another damaged individual in society. I want a wholesome, well-adjusted human that I want to bring into this world, regardless of what's happening. You see how they want to do our kids now? You could be a boy and still... we're not going to be touching too much on that, but quite frankly, personally, I'm not going to hide it. I can't be raising my child in a world where it's like, it's okay to have beautiful long hair, beautiful face, but a big beard, breasts, but a penis and this and that, and it's okay because it's about the individual. No, there's laws to nature. You know what I mean? It's male, it's female, and then that's just the icing on the cake. Like, there's so much things I consider when bringing a child into this world. I don't even want my child to go to school. I want them to be homeschooled. You understand? Because then 6 to 8 hours, you don't know what is being instilled in your child's brain. I need to know exactly what kind of information is going into my child's mind. Because my child will be raised with the word of the Lord. And I'm making any qualms about that.
But socializing is necessary. So how you'll go about that?
Extracurricular activities, Shawna. You understand? I've got it. You can watch me now. Stickler,
well, you know you're organized.
You know what I mean? So at the end, not in everything, just the things that are really passionate about. But there's just a lot of people like me. Another girl was saying, I'm afraid to have a child in this world. What kind of human being I would be? What if my child wants to be a monkey when he's 15? I identify as a monkey. You know, it's madness. This whole world is upside down.
Funny, but this is the world that we are in. I've seen some of these debates, and you're really coming on people national TV to talk this nonsense. But
Yeah.
again,
I've
conversation
seen
for another day.
Yeah.
So I
And
digress.
it's also very touchy. But yeah, Chris.
So I digress. But the one point in going off on a tangent like that is to say, I need a level-headed, right, like-minded individual to raise my child with, whether we in love or not, whether we in a marriage or just co-parenting. Whomever I choose to procreate with must have certain values, morals, and a mindset that is similar to mine, so I can be comfortable with the type of individual I would be raising in this world. So that's a big deal for me.
Love the point that you just made, and I'm gonna add to it, but I don't know if touching into a point. If I go into a point, Shawna, hit me, and we'll figure this out. So the point that Chris made in terms of the like-minded person, right? And what I like, again, just analyzing this because it hit home, but at the same time, I have a lot of female friends who just end up in a lot of unnecessary situations. And I'm a person like, you make the mistake, let me learn from it. I don't have to learn from it. So even let's start from the case of the sex, and this is where I want to enter. You choose to have sex with an individual, whether it's for fun, whether it's casual, whatever. There's a chance that this could result in a baby, right? There's just a chance.
Possibility,
if you to yourself think that this is not even the person you want to be tied to like that, why are you comfortable lying down with that individual? You understand? It's like if that results in a baby, are you comfortable with this person possibly being a father or a co-parent? If the mindset of that is no, I think it shouldn't be an option.
Yeah, and that's why these conversations are necessary, because a lot of people are oblivious to the results of of their choices, and what you're speaking from is a place of wisdom, and not everybody would be there, and that's why, like I said, we need to talk talks.
Talk the talks.
Again, that's seeing a lot of these things like with girlfriends and baby daddies and them having to like literally enter the space of like single motherhood and all these different things by default. They claim it's by default, but I would look at it as a choice, because it didn't start with the pregnancy. It starts with you thinking, I don't want to be with him, but I could sleep with him. Make it make sense to me. So for me, that decision even starts with the person I choose to entertain, because as Chris rightfully said, for her decision, she may not necessarily want to be married, but if that happens, she wants to know the person that is in the picture is somebody of like-minded morals, values, and somebody she could co-parent with if chosen.
And if not, then cover up, use your contraceptives, take responsibility.
The decision starts from that space.
Because I'm all for if someone wants to sleep with someone just for the sake of sleeping with them, that in itself is their choice too, and they shouldn't be judged for that, But I understand Neicy's point and your point. If that's what you want to do, use the contraceptives. Don't be doing an injustice to children and bringing them into the world and you're not ready for them. That is the worst thing you can do to a human being. You know what I mean? So now this making me talk about this thing with what is it, Roe versus Wade in America, but we'll save that for another time. Abortion and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that's
because
another.
I've got
easily get sidetracked.
Yes, I've got some feelings about that, but we'll talk about that in another episode.
Another point is having a child. The cost is astronomical. You know?
Boy.
In this time and this day and
It'd be
age,
expensive.
Yeah, you have to consider the financial practicality, because a lot of times people can't even fend for themselves. Think about it now. A lot of people talking about rent, they have bills. I know a lot of people say they'll find a way to make it work, and I hear you, but that's a traditional mindset. I'll find a way to make it work.
Figure it out.
You're trying to figure it along as you go. And it works out, a child is a blessing, but you also put yourself in a lot of debt, you also put yourself in a lot of mental stress and other factors, right? So finances is a very, very big part of making, as one of the people would have commented, one of the biggest issues, I could see why women wouldn't want to have kids in a situation like that, where finances are concerned.
I read online that in America, at least, because I read a poll that from the time you have the child to 17, you would have spent over, well, close to 200,000 US dollars. And I thinking that, I was like, that's all? Because I thought it was more.
I think that's the
US,
baseline. The
US.
baseline.
But that's like 200,000 US dollars, that's like 1.4 million TT dollars.
It sounds realistic.
It sounds, but that's 17 years. I was thinking, I actually thought it would have been more, you know, but at the same time, that's still a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
You know,
And
and
it
that's
doesn't
providing
say
you
that.
stop taking care of them at 18 or so.
Yeah.
But let's face facts. Parents do take care of the kids
Beyond.
well into adulthood. You know, my dad's still taking care of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a lot of areas. So I get it.
And I would assume too that would be a minimal lifestyle. They probably wouldn't consider.
say, like,
I decide to buy a car for you and I buy a house for
yeah.
you. I think what you're speaking about is just, you know, the minimal for your child to be healthy, which would probably like the schooling and thing, but that's still real expensive.
The point I wanted to touch on, we had mentioned it before, and it's my point.
My point.
Yeah, they don't have strong maternal desires. As I said before, I'm speaking from a place of being on that side of the fence and be like, I think this is not for me. And then, you know, it kicking in. That's wake up one day with it.
Yeah.
Right? But I really, really believe that if you as a female know to yourself like the desire isn't there, don't make yourself desire something that like you know to yourself you're not feeling, because yes, you could have the sex, you could get pregnant, you could make the baby, but it still takes that connection, mental stability, emotional stability, and that willingness. And the pair, like having a child, is the word to define that is sacrifice.
Right.
You know, like comes from a place of that's the being willing to sacrifice. Like this child is reliant on you to provide, to protect, to take care of until they at a place where they can. And what you put in is what they're going to be building on later on in
that's
life.
basically you set that
You
foundation.
set in the foundation. And if
Yeah.
you're going into that without the capacity for it and without the willingness to not just figure it out, but actually like
love and nurture.
Yeah.
And
Again, you don't want to be the reason that your child is sitting on a therapist chair. If they could even afford it. If they could even afford it, sitting, well, my mommy, and they unpacking. Because I've seen, and funny thing is, I've had this conversation recently where I see like a mother have a child, and then the child grows up to have another child, and then the relationship that the mom has with the grandchild is a totally different relationship than the mom have with her own. And it's because you were the experiment, and they're now trying to get it right with the grandchild, because they make a lot of mistakes with you, and they know what not to do in this case.
right.
You don't want your child looking at you with your grandchild and being like, but I didn't even experience that from my mother. You understand?
I was
And
now
it's not
going to
from a
say that
place
would breed a lot of resentment, because I like, you didn't treat me so.
Exactly. And I've heard from the grandparent side where it's like, yo, I've saw this interview, you know, Latoya Lockett from Destiny's Child. She had a conversation with her dad, and she broke down because she was like, seeing her dad with her daughters, she didn't have that dad.
Yeah.
And he was like, he didn't know what to do, and he's trying to correct it with the grandchildren. And she's like, when she's seeing him showing up to the dance recitals and buying them gifts, and they know granddaughter time, she didn't have that. He was not in the pitié.
Neicy, I don't even have children, and that's triggering me, because I could feel myself get vexed if I had experienced that.
Right, but the thing is like, your child basically have to recover from having you as a parent. Even if you course correct later on in life, your child still have the experience and the trauma attached to mommy and daddy. Yes, you could apologize, you all could make amends, but that doesn't change the experience and the fears now. Because a lot of times when you hear a person say they don't want kids, it's not because they don't desire it. When they look back at their childhood, they're scared of the things that they've been through. It's like, I might do that same thing. I don't want to experience it because I know how I felt.
Yeah.
You understand? So
Can I just go over to the chat room?
Of course.
Let me see what they're saying. Candice Skeet says, when you have kids young, that's not going to stop a career or success. This is true, Candice. But
What she said?
She says, when you have kids young, it's not necessarily going to stop your career or success. Well, that is true. It's a fact. Many women have the kids young and go on to have very successful careers. However, in the article that I was referring to, it did state that older women are just much more prepared to have a child. They're more settled. They're more sure of who they are. They've established themselves in more ways than one. You know what I mean? Therefore, creating a more holistic environment to bring a child into. And that's all that was. But totally good point. We get it, and that is true. Dahlia goes on to say, hi ladies, responding to us. The Makista says, to me, if you have a great support system, then having children won't be as hard as it is in today's society. Very true. She says, it is true though that it's riskier when you get older. Hence, I said make your children younger. Yes, from a biological sense, yes, it's riskier. But if you're lucky enough to have a healthy child at 40 and you settle and you ready, you're not just, you're ready. I think it's for the benefit of the child as well. You know, but that's a personal opinion. The Makista said, I had my first child at 30 years and my second at 34. You hear that, Neicy? You hear that? All right.
I should try to be a daddy boss.
Kyle Grant says, I missed 2 episodes and feeling like I missed a month. Real catching up to do.
Listen, we just take our attentive watching serious over here.
Kyle Grant, you're lapsing. Katie goes on to say, I agree, Krystal. The partner is definitely a huge factor for me. I have a friend who decided to do artificial insemination. That's something I was thinking about too. But then I started to study God. That is not natural. I don't think that would be right. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah. Louvage, Noel. Louvage, tell us if we're pronouncing your name good.
If Chris pronouncing it.
Louvage, Louvage,
Louvage. Every time she says Louvage, something else.
Louvage.
466-4687. You could shoot us a call and tell us how to pronounce that.
Yes, Louvage. Call us. He says, or she says, hi, 27 child-free woman, right? She's a 27 child-free woman. And what? Hold on. Hi, 27 child-free woman here.
Right. Got
and
it.
to be honest, after the pandemic and learning more about myself and healing childhood trauma, one of the best decisions I'm having in my life is not having kids.
Right.
And I can't tell you how many times I read something similar to that while researching this topic. Right? She goes on to say, always learning. She sounds like a woman when she say that, so I'll go with a she. She says, always learning from others' mistakes has truly saved me from a life of damnation and a life of pain. The drama. She's so dramatic. To make it sound like having a child is like a time.
Like you're going to hell.
Oh my Louvage. She goes on to say, she said a lot, She says, knowing oneself first and loving yourself first. Heal from your childhood past before having kids, yes. I was raised in a toxic home as a child because my mother and dad was horny. And she says, always living in a third world. She said, also living in a third world country with mad crimes. Education system is messed up. Lack of women's rights. Lack of health care. Broken homes in the black communities. All things we were afraid to talk. She says also the lack of education on and the dangers of getting pregnant that can kill you. You can die from having babies, yo. Take that very seriously. Now, gosh, Louvage getting real. We all good points, all valid points. Yes, indeed. Louvage, I feel like we need to hear from you. So
yeah, I'm
feel
like,
free to call us.
Because I was like the same thing, like, sorry, but I need private healthcare for this baby.
Indeed.
Because the amount of that I've heard in the public.
Yes, it's a nightmare.
No.
So, Louvage, if you feel like it, call us at 466-4687, okay? 466-4687. We'd like to chat with you a bit. LJ is in the house.
Hey.
Hi. And they say, you sound exactly like me, yes? Same thoughts. I was thinking about procreation. Then we have DJ Kello in the house. Hi,
Hello.
DJ Kello. He says, I'm just keeping my head above water with 2. Yes, 2 kids. But people living in poverty have like 6 and 10. WDMC. If you're a trainee, you're going to know what we want. You understand? It's true. And that's a point that we're going to be making as well.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot, you know. You think we should come back? Let me get through it. Let's get through. Louvage is back and saying, again, we have adults. We as adults need to heal ourselves first, love ourselves first before having kids. Some of our parents have broken us for life, boys. Speak the things. Speak the things. She goes on to say, we seriously need to start educating women on having kids. It's okay to have kids and it's okay to not have kids. Yeah. Indeed. Louvage, I feel like she needs some snaps. Mm-hmm. Then Krystal feels is back and she says, even though having two children, I would love to have another with my husband, but when I see and hear the things people are capable of doing to others in society, like taking their lives without regard for them, I'm scared. Indeed. LJ is saying, almost every person I ask about parenting, regardless of age, nobody ever claims to be ready. There's just no way to be ready. It's true. KTC says, I agree with the therapist's comment. I would like to add that being aware of how you attain that trauma is having grace for your parents.
Yes. I love that. Well said.
Joash is in the house. Hey Joash. He says, I'm now tuned in. I don't see a woman not wanting to have children as being selfish. They have their reasons. Why? Whether it be career, choice, personal, etc. And it should be understood, especially by their partner. KTC is back and she says, and understanding that they also are humans operating from their own traumas. She's talking about our parents.
Just like ourselves.
She said they're humans just suffering from their own traumas. But I understand and agree with them being mentally sound first. Yeah. Indeed. It's only in adulthood do we realize that our parents are really just human, because you grow up thinking they're superhuman. Yeah. They should know this, they should do that. And then you realize, wait, no, they're struggling with their own ish as well. Yeah. You know, and that's where the compassion comes in, you know, and the understanding.
They really try to do the best with what they know and what they have.
But one thing, I was watching Iyanla Save My License Neicy for me on set on own. And there was a point, this was 2 days ago, and she was telling, actually it was on some other show, she was doing their thing, and she says to the mother, I need you to say something with me. It's not going to be okay. You're going to feel it, but I need you to say it because it's the truth. It's the truth. And the thing she had the woman say was, I failed my children.
Right.
I failed my children. She did over and over and over until it really started to resonate with the mother and she broke down. Yeah. Because I say that to say this, sometimes the parents' best is not enough.
It isn't.
And some parents think that just because they did their best, that we should be happy.
You should be happy.
But let's face it, it's a whole human that you're bringing into the world with life and so much to teach them. You had to come to terms with your best may not be enough. Yeah. And just accept it.
I like that you say that too, Chris, because in my case, I had my both parents present. So I cannot speak out of authority and tell, for example, you who didn't have your mom present, as you would mention, out of authority and say, Chris, you have to forgive your parents and you have to do this and you have to do that. I can't tell you that because I'm not coming from a place of relating, you know. I had my both parents, somebody who doesn't have their parent or a parent actually mistreated them. It's really, really hard to recover from it at times. And if they choose not to have relationships or whatever for their for their sanity, then you have to respect, you know, a person's decision.
I like that you brought up that point because I have been going through a season of healing, forgiveness and stuff when it comes to parent stuff, because I'm the oldest, so I was the guinea pig with a lot of things. Listen, the resentment and the unforgiveness was real. By the grace of God, forgiveness has entered the building. Right. But it's only now, and to touch any point that Chris said, in terms of now seeing my mom and dad outside of that role, and see my mom as a woman with her stuff, and my dad. I went to a funeral yesterday. My aunt passed away, and I wasn't gonna go because I wasn't close to her. I didn't feel the need of like, I don't want to sound insensitive, but I didn't. It wasn't a grieving thing for me. Yeah. I went because my dad was going, and he asked me to come represent for that side of the family. So I gone. Sit down there, listening to the sermon and stuff, you know, that's there. And then the funeral wraps, and I look across and my dad is crying. And I think this is the first time I ever saw my dad cry.
Serious?
Like my whole life. First time I saw this man cry. And in that moment I realized, my dad lost his sister.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, my dad just lost his sister. He grew, like how I would feel if my sister passed away or my brother passed away. Yeah. That is what this man is experiencing in this moment. And in my mind, I'm just there to to be daddy's. You understand?
Yeah,
And in that moment was the first time I think I saw my father outside of the role of daddy, which he has failed me with, and we've had those conversations because he was not there to protect and provide and do the traditional men role. I know I have a dad, but I don't know what having a dad is about.
Yeah.
You know? And to see him in that space, and then sometimes when we have conversations, I was like, I'm now getting to know this man.
Right.
In my adult version of me, I'm now learning who my father is. I learned that my the name that I know my dad as is his middle name. It's not even his first name. And I'm like, I'm not feeling bad for it, but I'm understanding, like, sometimes he really doesn't know.
You really don't know.
You understand? He really doesn't know. So, yeah.
I hear that. I hear that. And it's like, I listen to but people messaging too about this show at the same time. It's interesting that you said that because you then really see them as human beings, individuals, and you can then empathize with them.
Yeah.
You know, it's a hell of a thing. It's a hell of a thing. I try not to talk too much as well about my personal stuff with my dad and stuff because, you know, I try to be mindful of his privacy and that kind of thing. But at the same time, in adulthood, even now, where, you know, you get to a point where you could clash with your parents a lot and that kind of thing. But then when you sit down in retrospect and think about all that they'd been through and that kind of thing, you start to realize
where it's coming
this
from.
man is grappling with quite a lot. You know what I mean? Before I used to see my father was Superman, big cape and singing. Could do no wrong and should do no wrong and always on point. But then when you realize and you're able now to really assess your whole life because you have all this knowledge and introspection now and you could see where they may have gone wrong in your life and your rearing and that kind of thing and you call them out on it. And like I said, they say, well, it's my best. You don't know what I was going through at this time and even though that might be, right? And it's such a conflicting thing because you could see that they've been through a lot of ish and you can see that it really was their best, but at the same time,
as you said,
you had to be able to say your best wasn't enough because as a child during my formative years and stuff, there are certain things that you should not have been taken on. You know, my dad had a lot of responsibility with our extended family. They leaned on him quite a lot for almost every damn thing that he had no business dealing with. And he took it on wholeheartedly because he has a big heart. But there were times during my formative years when I feel to this day like my father should have been paying attention to me. I was going through a lot in school. I now I could actually say it because it's something that we talk about now, but there were times where I was bullied in school and stuff. I didn't tell my dad a lot of things that I was going through, and I found like you're the parent, you should have known better to ask and what's going on in your life, what's going on in your mind, that kind of thing.
The awareness to even notice something is off with your child.
But my dad was young too and he didn't have that awareness. My dad took care of me with all my needs, my physical needs, financial needs. I didn't want for anything. I was quite content with the way my dad raised me in terms of taking care of his responsibilities. But there are areas where he didn't, I don't think he knew that he wasn't caring for my mind. You know, and my emotional stability. And that's something I had to now do for myself growing up. You know what I mean? So now it's difficult to have those kinds of conversations with him now because it may come across as judgmental or blaming when it's not really the case. But at the end of the day, you had to really just rock back and realize that your parents are just human too. And even though their best is not enough, it is what it is. And you now as the adult had to just be like, you know what, I had to fix this myself.
To this, add to what he was saying, and sometimes I think this is one of the points that me make sure, because I saw it when we was reading through it, it was like the lack of support, and sometimes our support is not just immediate in terms of mommy, daddy. Again, taking it back to the funeral yesterday, hearing persons talk about my aunt. I haven't had that experience with my aunt because of the disconnect with my dad, so I didn't grow up with this aunt. But hearing her other nieces and nephews talk about auntie, I didn't have that experience for other personal reasons. And sometimes even the family unit, not just the immediate mom and dad, but like when you decide to have a child, the extended family unit, all of these people are a form of support, as Chris mentioned, with the schooling and stuff like that. It have sometimes things that the parent might miss the teacher could pick up on because you're spending 8 hours with my child.
Yeah.
And if you, even the school system is supposed to be a place where the teacher playing a role in this whole developmental process. I've heard situations where like teachers call the parent like, I see a difference with the child. Is there anything going on at home? It have some teachers, unfortunately, they're doing it more because is stability. They have benefits at the end. They could retire and stuff, but instead of really like a service, because all of this is a part of the community of raising a child. The neighbors, the teachers, the auntie, the uncles, the grandparents, all of these things are supposed to be considered when you decide who you having a child with.
And just to add to that, because you're saying one of the reasons women don't have kids is because of the fear of the lack of support, right? So Neicy brought it to the school, she brought it to the village, she brought even not having access, the parents even not having access to childcare is not having that support system. But as you spoke about the school, it reminded me of a conversation I had with a teacher early on this week, and we're talking about, we in school and there's fights and there's this and like what is going on. So this is just speculation or just an opinion. This is not necessarily facts. But I said, so what do you think it is going on here? Because, it's so much more bad kids than we are having good kids. And before the dynamic was different, where you would have one rotten apple in the bunch. But now we see that things are different. And he shared this thought. Again, I said, this is just his opinion, right? But he said, because the middle class are becoming so very well educated and so much aware of the impacts they can have on children, and they don't have the finances, as we discussed, or the mental capacity, they are not having kids so much anymore. So you find now that the influx of these students that we are getting, just as I think this guy mentioned it, Marv Monty mentioned
a lot of babies and they can't.
The influx that is coming into the schools are those that are coming from the poverty.
And from the parents who not ready to have the kids.
They're not ready. They're not ready.
Coming to school and they're lashing
They're
out.
not educated. There's a million kids that are coming from poverty. And fun fact, when we are having Parents' Day or when we have issues with the kids, when we call parents, right? The parents that are coming to the Parents' Day and the parents that are responding to us are the parents that don't need to. You're following what I'm saying? These are the parents of the kids that behaving good. But the kids that we have a problem with, they're not in classes, they're liming by the block, they're by the cafeteria, they're doing... We calling the parents. We can't get you to the parents. They can't.
And those is the ones that need to hear what's going on in the PTA meeting. They're not coming to PTA meetings. So yes, as Krystal said, there's an influx of people who are not prepared to have kids having the kids. That is
so that's why again the education is important.
Indeed.
That is so true. And even I don't want to go too far into this direction, but it's like, okay, the same thing that you're saying with the how it ripples, the ripple effect. We having a conversation in terms of the decision to have the child, but there is a ripple effect that comes out of this, because you see, as you said, the same kids that and statistics would show this. It would show it later on in life, when I think somebody had mentioned about the pests and stuff in society. It's these children didn't come into the world wanting to be pests. Like, think about it. They didn't come into the world deciding. So when they born into these circumstances and they had to figure out life, whatever them see it as or whatever is poured into them, that is what's the fruits you're going to get in society later on. It starts with the home. It really starts with the home and it expands, you know.
Should I continue with the comments?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so I'll just continue where I left off, all right? So it might go back on some of the points that we already made. We have Krystal Fields back, and she's saying, I'm always on edge with the two that I have regarding their survival in this life. I pray for them every day, but I don't think I would put my fears above God in making a decision to have another. Right? Candace Skeets is here, and she says, I had my child at 18, and it's not the end of the world, as people were telling me. I did not plan, but I'm still living. I still would not advise having a child that young. So you see how would have people saying it's okay to have it young, and then others who had it young saying I wouldn't advise it. It really depends. It comes down to the situation and their individual unique circumstances. You know? Candice Keats says, but if it happens, I wouldn't be against it. Right? Joash says, look, Candice boy, was this scene?
Here at Island Girl, right? Here at Island Girl Talk, we connect you with your long lost friends.
Indeed. We have the Makista saying, I believe that parents did what they could with the tools they had at the time. But if they don't want to learn as they grow older, to me it means that they are choosing trauma, not healing. Oh gosh, listen, snaps, everybody kind of gets that is an excellent point, because one never stops learning. You know what I mean? And it's already established that not all parents get it right. So it doesn't hurt, you see, and the kind of healing you could bring to a child that you initially caused trauma to, just by wanting and making the effort to rectify and remedy past trauma, that alone in itself is like,
it's a huge step.
That's
my
the
God,
best gift I saw a quote said the best gift you could give a child is being a healthy parent.
Yes,
being
indeed.
a healthy parent.
She goes on to say, and Katie C agreed with her, she goes on to say, also, my parents didn't raise me. I was raised by my grandparents. A thing that's lost in our society today. So she says, a thing that's lost in our society today, and it shows that my parents didn't raise me. So
like the same thing we're talking about with the community and the external.
Marv Munty says he agrees to disagree. He says, I don't think you have failed as a parent until you give up. Right? Or your offspring has passed away. Being a parent is a lifetime thing. Indeed. Sour Diesel is in the house, and he says, age brings wisdom. Wisdom is healing. Well said.
Yes, I like the way you've put that.
We have a lot, guys. Marv Munty says, in a more perfect world, this and other topics of similar classification should be a mandatory secondary school class that you have to pass.
I need the snaps for this.
Listen, I've been saying that, but
Don't
actually,
make jokes.
let me don't take the credit. Daddy, sorry. My dad has been saying that, like, since we were younger, since I was a kid, he used to say, they need to have topics like the consequences of your choices and help people see,
I would say the same thing about finances, like financial literacy should be a topic, not accounting. We're talking about accounting. We're talking financial literacy.
We hear this joke before you move back into the comments, right? So I have a guy who cuts the lawn by me, right? Again, he's in the more lower end, and again, the knowledge is important. Here why? So he come talking to me. He say, "You're good. When you're planning to have kids, girl, let's see, eventually."
I know why Chris laughing.
Eventually, the usual talk. Are you ready for our next one, I say, serious, how much you have?
This is the end of
Eight. Yes, I remember the story, Shawna. Tell us.
Hear me, how much you have? 8. Then pulls out his phone. A whole bandwagon, and they're small, and he smiling, and he ready to pop out the next one, and like, the curiosity of me is serious. So how do you and I had to ask, I didn't mean to step on the toes, but I said, so how you managing times hard, boy? How you managing with these kids? Nah, man, things is always work out. We will find a way, and that's why I tell you. The knowledge is so important. We need to find a way to get these things across.
Let's just pause for a course. Let me talk to our tech guy, Ananias. Our guest is downstairs. Would you be so kind? As to they're outside the building.
He's telling me that
when I was growing up, there was this lady, and I'm not exaggerating, you guys. Listen to me carefully. For as long as I know her, she's been pregnant. Like, I'm not.
They never come out.
Gosh, that's so bad to laugh at.
I am not exaggerating. Like, from the majority of my childhood, every time I see this lady, she was pregnant, and I'm always thinking, like, she ain't make the baby yet. Not realizing it's like
multiple ones.
It's like she put down and she's pregnant again, and she put. I think they had even put her in a family plan because they can't make it mandatory to tie your tubes and stuff. They can't force you to, but they the nurses had gotten fed up to the point of like they got social welfare people involved because they had to take some of the kids and stuff, and you still making.
I have can I just tell a story, please? It was from back when I was a child. I was maybe 7 years old or 8, but I remember it vividly. I remember a time by my grandmother home, and this lady who knew my grandmother, she had like 6 or 7 children. All I remember was a pack of children fill up the place. And I was happy because I had people to play with, right? Yeah. But further down in the evening, I realized, okay, we had to take them to the police station and stuff, and the neighbors came and started picking up children, and everybody like a big train down the road with children, taking them to the police station. It's because the lady had all her bandwagon of children and brought them to my grandmother's house and left them there. Because my grandmother, and God rest her soul, in my neighborhood at the time, she was known for always having food, and so we weren't rich people. I know about the life, you understand? But the thing is, we never wanted for food. We always had food, right? And she would always share with neighbors or with all kinds of people.
And my grandmother providing.
My grandmother never shunned anybody, never turned anybody down.
The same as my grandmother.
People she don't even know be like, I hear you give people food, and she will always have something to give.
My mom used to upset me with that.
Wow.
Because when she cook, like people that show up,
but that's a good
used to
thing.
get full with people, and it's like, it don't know how much for us.
Yeah.
My dad said he at one point was a little bit rude to his mom and said something around the lines, well, what we will eat tomorrow? And he said his mom, well, back then they said, slap.
Yeah.
He said his mom hit him a slap, which is my
Boy slap.
grandmother.
I didn't
And
understand
said,
it then.
son,
Yeah.
God will provide.
That's
and
right.
that's why she was just like your grandmother.
Just
No matter who's
Feeding
around,
everybody.
and mommy's taking out food, she look outside, my brother, friend. And the thing is, they used to make it a habit, like them know the time to come for food.
Yeah.
And she look outside and she just count the heads, and
Everybody getting something.
and then when later reach,
You
we try
hungry?
to figure out what we going and eat, because it had no seconds, right? No, but we going and try to push our bake in the oven or something. And I done thinking, okay, well, pie and chicken.
No, you can't
My
think like
pie and
that.
chicken. No, I just saying the mindset back then was that as I got older, I understand.
Yeah,
it
that's
now,
out of a
because
place of
sometimes that
love.
used to be the only meal these fellas I'm eating for
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah.
Remember what I told you the other day, like we were having a conversation and said no matter when I see somebody, it could be a million times they're begging, I have to give it to them. Remember I told you that?
Yeah.
It stems from all of that. My grandmother, no matter what, but I give you food yesterday and then never. You come a million times, you're gonna get food a million times. I see the spranger out by the traffic light begging for money. If I had the $5 there, I don't care if you go and buy drugs with it. It's about me and my salvation and that kind of thing. I am compelled. I have to give. Because you give, my cousin always said, you give to the poor, you lend to the Lord. He will bless you always tenfold.
Yes, as Spranger traumatized me with that. I remember I was going to school one morning and a madman stopped me and he was like, family, I was hungry, I was something to eat. Right? And I know like they used to take the money to buy drugs. So if I would give you the money in your hand, I would ask you what you want and I would go buy it and bring it. And I went and I didn't even have extra money. I took my spending money and I bought this man a pie and a dollar juice.
And he was
I'll never
ungrateful.
forget it. And the man was like, he hit it out my hand. And he was like, I don't want that type of the money.
Okay, he wanted the drugs.
You understand?
Yes.
So after that, now I watch it all these people side eye because,
That's on him. You did your part. You know?
take my
Any
little
more comments?
$5
Up till
from
now, I
school.
don't know what happened to them poor children. I had to ask my father.
Yeah.
But okay, so let me continue with the comments. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, it's a lot. You guys. Oh, so LJ says, marry before you carry. Right?
I agree. Save and sanctify.
Louvage is, my friend just messaged me, Matthew Bain, and he said Louvage is his girlfriend. So I told him to tell his girlfriend to call us. So hopefully we'll get a call. But Louvage says, also, if my boyfriend dies, if I had his baby, no way. Right? Krystal Field says, the mistakes of my parents that they made with their children has been the foundation for me as a parent to not repeat the same with my children. For instance,
it should
abandonment.
Yes.
Right?
As
Yeah,
it should be. Some nails.
DJ Kello says big facts. He said simple thing as the class, the WhatsApp chats. Just from that, you know the parents who actually care and the ones who definitely couldn't give you know what. Right? Louvage chimes in again and she says, listen, I'm surrounded by people in my life with kids. And let me just say, I'm not impressed being the fun auntie in me. Right? She's not impressed. DJ Kello says, some parents need to go back to school, to be quite honest. Oh, so true.
Yeah.
We have somebody new. I think it's Adventures with Lovey and Matt. Anybody know that?
No.
Adventures with Lovey and Matt.
Welcome.
Welcome to the show. She says, Shawna, I totally agree. I'm a teacher as well. And the majority of kids that come into the education system lack all the morals and values that they should have learned at home. Right? Krystal says, I never want my boys to feel or go through things that my parents did to me. That's why I chose to break the cycle, and the results are great.
Yeah.
I see a difference. I see differences every day, and I'm proud that I have healed. Right? Adventures with Lovey and Matt goes on to say, some parents having kids for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see how much we have. We have about 5 more. The Makista says, no. Tying tubes isn't recommended if you are under a certain age, Neicy. She says, I wanted that done after my daughter, and they told me I may want another way so that they won't recommend it.
Yeah.
Right? She goes on to say, but at the time, I was making the choice to not have another child. After my son, I requested a hysterectomy and was turned down again. So today, it's team abstinence.
They're looking
I
out
don't
for
think
you.
you should remove
Team
your womb
celibacy over here.
when you're young. You know, I just don't think, no.
Yeah, because you don't
Yeah.
know.
The
You-
very
you don't
core
know.
of what makes you a woman.
So
nah.
just lock it down.
Yeah, lock it down.
Lock it down.
DJ Kello says, I'm begging for a woman. Link me now.
We will try a thing.
Listen now, DJ. There's somebody for everybody out there.
Yes, very much so.
Adventures with Lovey and Matt says, all your grandmothers sound just like my mother. After playing football in the park, we went home to eat, and she always had an extra plate for my friends.
So I
or
was the
whoever
one
came.
eating out my back earlier and chicken and have eaten bread later.
It's like how we all live the same life, island life, you know. Katie C says, we have 3 more. Katie C says, this is wild to me. If you want to tie your tubes, the fact that the system is insisting you may change your mind and making the decision for you by taking away your option. She thinks that's wild.
Yeah.
She says, well, let me not begin this patriarchal topic. Right? I digress. Right? And then we have Luvage saying, yes, I'm Lovey and Matt. Is your friend. Oh, Lovey and Matt, they have this nature thing. I saw it a couple times in my feed. They go on hikes and that kind of thing. Very cool, very cool. All right, cool. Luvage, we're waiting on your call. And now we have Shotmaster J in the house.
Hello.
You would know him as one of the former DJs at Red 96.7. He says the problem today is literally children having kids.
Yeah.
Right? Or children having children. And that's it for the chat room right now. Well said, Shotmaster J. As y'all can see, plenty of people have a lot to say about this topic. And I guess by now we realizing more and more why it makes sense not to have a child if you're really not sure that you should. That is the key thing. If you know you're not sure, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. And I agree with the point of I was making the point with the gardener 8 and 9 children and stuff.
You ready for
You ready for more?
You ready for more?
I don't agree with that. I think it is, I will say this, and this is my personal opinion. I think it is very selfish, and we made that point earlier. It is very selfish to have 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 kids if you are not able to adequately provide for all of them. Financially, emotionally. It's a holistic thing. You cannot be bringing scourges on society. You know what I mean? Sorry to say it like, and we are getting a call.
Neicy Dad.
Finally. All right. Let's have our guest sit in her seat. Hi, guest. All right. Welcome to Island Girl Talk. Call us. State your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, I'm Lavasia calling from Carnage.
OMG.
Nice.
Give me some volume there, Sean.
Obsessed with your name.
Lavasia. We say
Although
Lavage.
we couldn't get it right, but
Lavage, Luvahe.
now that we hear it, we like it.
Lavasia, we love it.
We like it. Hi, darling. How are
Yes,
you?
Lavasia. I'm good.
Awesome. So tell us what your thoughts are about today's topic. You made some really good points, by the way.
Yeah.
Very pertinent points.
Well, I've been on this child-free thing for a while, actually, now, because it's all over social media, it's all over the internet. And since the pandemic and being locked down in and out of jobs and just, learning more about myself as a home doing nothing.
Indeed.
It's like one of the things people always ask me, even now that I'm like financially not really, there. When you're having kids, and it's like, what?
Exactly.
It's like that at this point they should know.
Have they taken into consider? That's another thing too. People watch you and they're seeing where you're probably not ready financially and otherwise to have a child, but they're still asking you when. Why? Because they're just having it like, I don't understand.
Yeah, but also for me, for the past 3 years, it's like I realized, okay, I don't think I ever want kids because it's not just financially, it's mentally, it's physically, it's psychologically, it's spiritually, it's emotionally. You have to put in when having kids. And for me, I just don't want to spend the energy to do that to raise a child. It's just not making sense to me.
Yeah, and you have the right to feel that way.
I want to say something because I'm talking from my personal experience. And if you know that's how you feel right now, stand in all of that. But if you wake up one day and that changes, give yourself permission to think differently or want differently.
Indeed.
Because I know a lot of persons who say no, but you don't know where the mindset of your own self would be 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You understand?
Oh, no. I have always been that way. It's just I had to go through certain things in my life to realize this is who I am.
Okay, understood.
Raised in a broken home, you know the old time sayings, your grandparents and your parents will tell you, like, little girls must be seen and not heard, do as I say, not as I do, the whole brainwashing programming things, also growing up in an extended family. So I was raised so I'm adopted one, right? I'm adopted. So I was raised by my birth mother, by my adopted mother, by the extended family, grandmother, cousins. I had my grandfather, my uncle. And that was great and all, but that was bad because there were people in the family who were like predators.
Right. See.
So it's like healing from that and then becoming a young adult and having to go through the challenges in life, in society, with men, preying on young girls and being a victim of predator, and so much things, when you would date guys and they tell you they want you to have their baby, you have to be mindful of not falling into the trap of that. And growing up, I always told myself if there's one thing I'm not doing young, it's having kids. That's like borderline not having children. And now that I'm older, and by the way, when I was 16, I was being pushed to have kids.
Wow. You're kidding.
Wow.
This is when you should be in school and studying university and these things. So
now that I'm older, in a good relationship and you're just living life, doing my own thing, is like they're still asking, and to me it's like I find it shady that you have to be pushing this agenda on women. I find this scam is a scam, and I just don't agree. I don't agree to being a mother, being, in that lifestyle, because it's a scam, because they make you think that it's for everybody and it's not.
It's not.
And that's my problem.
Indeed.
It's not. And I liked how she made the statement that it's not, because a lot of people think it built in, like it's something everybody have. Even coming from a biblical place, when I saw, like, I have to find this verse. I saw a verse that says, like, not everybody's supposed to be married, because it's a grace that comes with being a wife, a grace that comes with being a mother. But some of us take it on, and we don't have the tools for that.
Well said. Louvaje, thank you for calling in and sharing with us. We truly appreciate it.
Yes.
I love that name. I never heard that name before. It's Louvaje or Louvaje?
What is it? Oh my God, how we reach back to
LaVeja.
We'll get accustomed. Join us next week again, and by next week we'll have your name down.
That's right. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Have a fantastic
I have 20 points as well. I have 20 points. That's already, yeah.
Make them, you know.
20 points.
Yes.
20 things that we should be as the older woman. Well, not really, I'm not old, but the older woman, we need to start teaching young girls that the dangers, because it's really dangerous when you have kids, but we as women, well, mothers, you all are not educating the younger girls about the dangers that with having children.
Indeed.
It's a lot. Yeah. This topic is intense.
LaVeja, we look forward to hearing you chime in whenever we have this show, and we enjoyed this conversation. Feel free to always call us again.
Thank you for having me.
All right, darling. Take care.
I wanted to go ahead. I wanted to continue with the point that she said, because she was about to speak about the dangers. One of the points that we have listed for not wanting kids is because women don't want to sacrifice their bodies.
Yes.
Right? And when I first read the point, I was like, it sounds a little bit superficial.
Like
That's the part where people say it's selfish,
you're considering you don't want to lose your figure. But outside of that, there are other health issues and hazards. And we look at the pandemic and we say, you have comorbidities, and if you have underlying comorbidities, you have more risk and so forth. And as I thought a little bit more about it, I thought of my aunt. She was one of those persons. She had cancer, and she got rid of the cancer. But of course, given the fact that she had the cancer, it's an underlying condition. Yeah. And her husband really wanted kids. So she decided to bear kids for him, bear a kid for him, which just happened to be twins. And the cancer came back rapidly, and my aunt died when her kids were babies. Wow. So she never got to know the kids. So her husband raised them. So there are lots of risk and stuff that you have to consider, especially if you have underlying health issues. And my mom and I were in conversation the other day, and we even discussed sometimes you don't have underlying health conditions, but sometimes conditions are developed during childbearing, right? And a lot of the times when you get those conditions during childbearing, they never leave you, right? So one of our commenters who usually comment had a baby recently, and she developed a strong acid attack. So like she would have acid continuously bothering her while she was carrying the baby, and then after she had the baby, that still remained. So she's now, it's a permanent struggle. It's not going. She's already had the baby, but she's now dealing with this permanently, that she has to strict diet even after birth.
Yeah, body go through
acid reflux. Every single thing she has, anything will trigger.
I didn't
trigger
give it
acid.
that kind of thought, because when I read the point, I thought it was coming from a real vein lens. Like I heard person talk about it, the stretch marks and stuff like that. So to me, it was sounding so. But when you
that too,
you explain it, I can't kick against these stretch marks because, the reason for it, I probably would have been cut from that cloth, but my mom fell with me at 8 months pregnant. But belly was clean all the time, and I fall, stretch marks. So I just feel like before I come into the world, I was already leaving my mark on the world.
Yeah, that's glad.
So, I want us to touch quickly on the next set of points, because our guest is here and we want to get to her. But I do want to ask Shawna a question with regard to the story about your aunt. When she passed away while the kids were still babies, how did her husband feel about that? Did he blame himself? Did he feel like she sacrificed herself to have these kids for him? What was that
I would
about?
imagine he probably did go through some form of guilt, but I personally didn't ask him.
You didn't ask?
I didn't ask him, but I could say I think they're grown teenagers. I think some of the I'm not sure if they went away to study. I don't think they even in Trinidad and Tobago, because he would have sent them away to pursue their education. But what I could say is he really went all out in being a father because of him losing his wife. But I would say it was definitely a happy home, because they had a kid they had a kid before. I think he had a kid before with, on the outside. I can't even remember the exact details, but they did have a very happy home, and we would go. The family would gather at their home because it was like a solid family unit. So the only thing they were missing were the children, and the whole family would gather there and they'll cook for us. He's a great cook. So I know that they had a very strong bond, and for him to lose his wife, I think he would have gone through some form of guilt or hurt, obviously.
So he made up for it by
and by the way, he never moved on. He never chose another woman. He's a woman. He spent his entire life by himself. You can visit him up to this day. He will welcome you in his home, but he refuses to get another woman.
I think that in itself is an answer.
Yes,
It's loyalty.
Yeah, this one is loyalty.
At the point. Oh, go ahead, guys.
Let's go through quickly the rest of the points so that we don't, we don't lose that, because we want people to, Neicy, what were you gonna say? Use your train of thought.
Okay, gotcha.
I want to make a point. So Shawna did touch on not wanting to sacrifice the body, which some people might deem to be selfish. I think, again, to each their own, right? Some women don't want to give up their career. Sometimes, the career might be all encompassing, and a child might literally change that. And I think depending on what they do, that might be valid as well. But one that I really want to touch on is, I know, quite frankly, a lot of women, well, a few, who don't want kids because they don't want to turn out like their mother.
Wow.
And guilty. Now, I said earlier in the show that I want kids, and I do, but with the right person, right? But it would be remiss of me to not say that it didn't scare me, because like I said, I didn't grow up with a mom. My dad is my mom and my dad, right? He raised me. And without going into too much detail, I think, because I have a half brother and half sister, my mom who remarried and she migrated to another country, and we all have our issues with her. So needless to say, when I was growing up thinking that I was the one who didn't get a mom, and I still have issues with that, abandonment issues and all a whole host of other issues because of that. The thing is, I thought I was the unlucky one because they got the mom. And as it turns out, now my sister is Shawna's age. My brother is 2 years younger. They all adults. We're all adults. And I found that they also had a whole host of other issues with her. And long story short, I realized, Krystal, I was the lucky one. I dodged the bullet. By her giving me to my dad, I was raised by the better parents. You know what I mean? So long story short is, even though I would like to have a child, it does cross my mind, like, Krystal, maybe one of the reasons you didn't have a child yet is maybe you're afraid to end up like that. And even though I have the presence of mind to know that I'd be excellent at parenting, there's still that doubt, and that's normal. You know what I mean?
That is where I was coming from initially when I was on the selfish side, where like, I don't really want kids. It wasn't coming from me not thinking I could be a good mom. It's coming from seeing my mom having to do it by herself and struggle and all these different things. I'm like, because it even have cases where might be with the person, it doesn't work out, and the father still isn't present. Not all the fathers would be a present dad, even if we don't. Sometimes when the relationship done and it's bitter between the mom and the dad, the kids are affected because the dad is not present. It's back and forth. So growing up in situations like that and witnessing it, I'm like, I don't even want to have a child, and next thing this don't work out, and then I'm left to do the single mother thing. Right? You understand?
Any other points, guys?
Another point, I'll combine these two. Right? One, they enjoy their life the way it is, and they already feel complete, right? And I say this to say,
we are getting a call. We had to tell them they had to be concise, because we're running out of time. Hello, welcome to Island Girl Talk. Kyle, we know it's you, boy. We know it's you.
Listen, I don't make out for them 2 episodes on this, man. I call you.
Kyle, you had to move fast slower, because we're running out of time, and we have our guests waiting patiently.
How to summarize this, right? Alright. You know what? I'll call back, right?
Oh gosh.
I'll call back. Yeah, when I only catch up one time, I'll watch
It's
the
like
show.
a long
and
one.
then I can call again.
Yeah.
All right?
All right,
I think
darling.
we may have to have another.
Indeed. When you see that he wanted to talk.
Yeah.
When you see, oh gosh.
We're sorry
Kyle.
about that. We're sorry about
Oh
that.
gosh.
So one of the points we didn't touch on, and it's a really good point because our caller had
right.
mentioned.
Shawna was
Yeah.
gonna combine 2 points and then Neicy and then we'll wrap.
So, as I was saying, right now we've been speaking of all the reasons why we shouldn't have kids. More on the negative side of things. If you think about it, no finances, no support, no.
Yeah, don't make it sound so Jerry.
But what I'm saying is, let's flip it on. Let's look at it from a next side. Suppose a woman is just happy with who she is. Suppose she already loves the way life is, because as we mentioned before, traditionally they give us this concept that you're meant to carry children. You have to. You're working, you're doing everything. At the end of the day, it is for a family, it's for marriage, it's for kids. But if a woman just feels complete already, and she's happy with maybe she's single, or maybe she has a partner or a husband, whatever have you, she is happy with who she is, and she just chooses not to have a kid. And that is just what it is.
To add to that too, this was an earlier point. To add to that, happy with the life complete already. Maybe that woman just knows who she is. She knows herself. And more importantly, she knows what she is not.
Yes.
Right? Some women just know that they meant to have kids. And some women know that they're meant to not have it. They don't have the urge, like Neicy said earlier. And that is okay. Some people are not meant for motherhood or fatherhood, as the case may be. So, knowing yourself is a point as well. Sean?
And just to add to that, I was trying my hardest to be devil's advocate to that idea.
Jesus advocate.
And I was saying, okay, I am totally in support with women's views. And then I said, but suppose all the women in the world decide to not have kids, then where would we be? And then I
somebody will pass a law and make it mandatory.
I was just thinking, in case, how to give myself other opinions. But then I said, Shawna, come on. That is not realistic. That is not realistic.
Because some women, from the time they come out of the womb.
Exactly.
Baby.
We know a lot of women who really enjoy motherhood and wants to be mothers, and we should respect those that do.
And even if every single woman on the planet decided not to have kids, it's not gonna happen because sex is sex, and not everybody's gonna Yes, not everybody gonna have contraceptives and this and that. Children will still be born. So it's not realistic, but we hear that. Guys, I think we covered as many
Neicy,
points as we could. Neicy, you had one?
I was going to talk about the our caller had touched on the fact with growing up, like any predators and stuff like that, right? And that's the kind of overview. Don't get too much in that, but also a lot of the times when persons who aren't equipped to have babies, you're basically putting your kids at a disadvantage to be, looked on
in a wrong space or wrong setting.
Because if I've seen girls, and this is the example, I've seen girls who grew up in households with their daddy present and their dad doing stuff, and then when they go out into the world, a man can't catch their eye with, let me buy something for you. You understand? You grew up in a household where you're struggling financially, you never have, and then you go out into the world, and these are the things that predators use to rope you in, because you're not getting it at home. So as soon as you see the inkling of it outside there, you're going to gravitate towards it.
Yeah, so the dysfunctional home then affects the child.
It affects the child in that space.
Indeed. I think, guys, with that's it. We're going to wrap topic of the day. I think it was a good one, and it resonated quite a lot with our audience. Let me just finish with the chat room. We have about 7 more. Right? We have Sour Diesel in the house saying that she agrees, correct. And they also say, I go on peeps and feeding time to feed the cows and the lamb. Great topics. See it, Sour Diesel. Candice Keat is in the house again saying, let's agree to disagree, Shotmaster G. Right? The morals and values of the older heads are not passing down, but passing away from them or passing away with them.
Oh,
right? Good point.
Yeah.
Yes. I like that. The Makista says, all of those people who asking them to fund the child now, right? They will never ask you again. #I am triggered. Right? And then Candice Keat is saying facts. Makista is back saying the problem is we do not have the community bringing up the children anymore. We don't have grandparents being a part of growing up stages. Indeed. She goes on to say, and that comment by Luvasia, right? Or Luvasia,
Yeah,
right?
Luvasia.
The comment by Luvasia about predators is a whole other topic, and one that I have zero tolerance for. Predators and molesters. Hashtag I am triggered. Shotmaster J is back, and he's saying this generation, right, would have been so much better if we only took the advice of our grandparents and elders. This generation lacks more morals and values. That's why everything is out of order. That I agree with that.
And as our
I
generation,
never see the world so upside down in my
our
whole
generation is the ones who raising the next gen.
Yes.
So
millennials raising Gen Z.
Right. So we complain
what
about
does that
Gen
say
Z.
about us?
We complain about them, but we are the
ones.
We are the foundation for that generation.
We need to course
Madness.
correct soon.
Right? I have 2 more. Actually, 3 more. Candace says back in the days of one breadwinner was enough. Now it's different. Everyone has to pitch in financially and can't stay home to be someone else's support. That's an interesting point. The Makista says, facts, Candace. Homes are unable to be supported fully by just one breadwinner. This is true because I read in an article somewhere just last night that when the mom is working, the dad is working, everybody working, right? Who is really going to be the foundation, the stability, the emotional support for the household? You know what I mean?
Sorry, I just got an idea for next show.
Okay, awesome. Put it on your phone, write it in your notes.
Write it in there.
Yeah, let's carry on. Mikisa says facts, Candace. One breadwinner is homes and okay, I read that already. Homes are unable to be supported fully by just one breadwinner. KTC is back and she says it's looking more and more like I'll be the rich auntie who travels the world and babysits your kids after my trip from Japan and before my trip to Norway. LOL. She says I don't mind that now. And then Abigail, who just joined, Abigail David, Holistic Health, welcome.
Hi, Abby.
She says I love this topic. Fire, blazes.
Thank you.
Guys,
We wish we had you a little before.
Indeed. That's it for the chat room. Guys, we're gonna wrap topic of the day. Today was really a great topic. We could have gone more, but with our time frame, we could only delve on dwell on the really important points, but we can't touch on everything, unfortunately. We're gonna take a very quick break and be back with our Island Girl Spotlight, who has been very patient. She's been waiting for the last 20 minutes or so, right? With more Island Girl talk coming up. Keep it locked right here on OURradio.fm.
Now we celebrate. Celebrate with Caribbean. Whenever we celebrate, wherever we celebrate, whenever celebrate with Caribbean. Whenever we celebrate, wherever we celebrate, whenever celebrate with Caribbean. Now we celebrate, celebrate with Caribbean.
Caribbean Tropical Hard Cider. Drink responsibly.
Got you singing like sweet one. Got you singing like sweet one. That other man was practice. That's why it's not lasting. I'll give you my last things. Half the man, I'm just acting. Designer from Saks Fifth. Anything you want, you can have this. I'll give you no tactics. Girl, you know you're the baddest. Got me singing like sweet one. Man bow to allegiance. Yeah, everything fit done. Talk about man, you don't need one. How I know you're a sweet one. Fendi purses from Neiman. Random trips go to Sweden. Time they notice we'll be gone. Be gone. When she come in, she still the party. That girl remind me of Somali. Trust me, I don't see no one bother. She busy body like Joanna. She yellow skin tone like a Julie. Popping call inside like a guava. Trust me, she don't deal with informer. I have no dust all your corner. Like she done this for days. Man, them around say she stuck in her face. Now fear's gone, still in her ways. You should see the way that she rockin' the waist. When I come to my place, come to the yard. Could be here, but girl, I do go abroad. Man, try take and I just laugh. Had to separate myself, just move a car. Then when the man was practice, that's why it's not lasting. I'll give you my last things. Half the man, I'm just acting. Designer from Saks. If anything you want, you can have this. I'll give you no tactics. Girl, you know you're the baddest. Got me singing like sweet one. Man bow to allegiance. Yeah, everything fit done. Talk about man, you don't need one. How I know you're a sweet one. Fendi purses from Neiman. Random trips go to Sweden. Time they notice we'll be gone. Be gone.
Got you singing like sweet one. Talk about man, I don't need one. Got you singing like sweet one. Sweet one. Man go to allegiance. Everything fit done. Talk about man, I don't need one. I know I'm a sweet one. 20 pesos from Neiman. Random trips go to Sweden. Time they notice we'll be gone. Be gone.
Till we can. one and only. Try not to let your heart get in the way. And we're just like night and day. Often I wanna stray. The reason I wanna stay is something I can't explain. You the best, you the best, you the best, can't control me. Yeah, you know, yeah, you know, yeah, you know, I sweet and loco, 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 loco. Play with my mind and I go loco, 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 loco. Take time, just take it easy, easy. You know, I sweet and loco, 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 loco. Yeah, 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 yeah. If I lie, you love me, I go crazy. Me not dirty, don't waste me. Maybe I should be a lady. Cause a yiggy yaga fella can't face me, no. Move yourself with your ex and us. Oh no, 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 oh no, 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 no. I don't wanna play a tic-tac-toe. Oh no, 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 oh no, no, no. Boy, you the best, you the best, you the best, can't control me. Yeah, you know, yeah, you know, yeah, you know, I sweet and loco, 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 loco. Play with my mind and I go loco, 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 loco. Take time, just take it easy, easy. You know, I sweet and loco, 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 loco. Yeah, 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 yeah. Chocolate that you love, sweet and nutty. You kinda keep me locked up, free my body.
And we are back with more Island Girl Talk. Guys, we're your hosts. I'm Krystal Khayne.
Trinidad Shawna.
Neicy.
And of course, we have the lovely Kelly Nova in the house. Oh my gosh, the beauty. The stunningness.
Yeah.
Yes, I. Oh my. So guys, Kelly is our Island Girl spotlight for today. Some of you might know her from many different things. She had a very colorful past and history and that kind of thing as an artist. I have a little write-up on her here just to let you guys know who exactly Kelly is. So Kelly Nova is a creative. She's the founder of Mirror Mirror Beauty and the creative director of TKB, which stands for Total Kickbox Fitness. Papa, beauty and kickboxing, boy. Kelly always knew that she had a knack for all things beauty as she decided to study cosmetology, eventually honing in on makeup artistry. And practicing for over 7 years, the excitement of manifesting the inner beauty in someone through makeup never gets old. Taking the unconventional career path has always been the norm for Kelly as she began her journey as a professional vocalist / entertainer at the tender age of 18. But she's currently on a musical hiatus. She looks forward to the future as she gets her hands into new creative ventures. Yes, I like that. I like that. So Kelly, tell us a little bit about who you are. I mean, I know I just said it in the bio, but tell us a little bit about you, your business, what you're about these days.
Right. So currently, for the past, I would say almost 2 years, I've been working on an all-natural skincare line called Nova Skin. This, of course, came from the pandemic, the lovely pandemic, that just, challenged everybody, for want of a better term. Challenged everybody to do better, pivot, really dig deep and look for other ways and means of making a way for themselves. So that led me to Nova Skin. Of course, prior to that, I was and am a makeup artist. Pandemic, nobody was going anywhere, really. So, panic mode kind of came on, like, okay, what am I going to do? What's going on? And during that panic mode, my husband was like, all right, first of all, let's calm down. Think about something that, would naturally, you would thrive doing. And I took like about a day. And I said, you know what? I've been doing this hand-whipped body butter for myself and, my little small circle of people for quite some years. Previously, I lived in and out of Trinidad and Tobago pursuing my music. And I said, I think let's try this. Now, I'm not a real risk taker, if people really know me. So, putting myself out there for something that I don't know whether it would work or not. It was really something. So I started off with the main character of the show, the body butter. I added on a exfoliating scrub, and it was a hit. Surprisingly, it was a hit. I didn't really have to do much. You know, the Instagram and the promotional side of it. It was literally people tried it and it was repeat customers.
Wow. That's the best kind of customers to have, huh?
The best.
But I mean, that speaks for itself.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that speaks volume for the product.
Yes.
Organic.
They're coming back if they're like
exactly. Yeah, especially in Trinidad. Right.
Yes.
That's the biggest critics you'll ever meet.
Yes.
Toughest crowd.
So
yes,
I just really, after that, the little boost of confidence started adding on here and there, you know, different products that I know that I will use. Started researching and stuff, and that was born, and that's what I'm doing. November will be 2 years Nova Skin is in existence.
So apart from
pandemic baby.
So apart from the butter and the scrub, what other products you have or working on?
So I came up with a body and linen mist because I mean, women like to smell nice too.
We do.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of aromatherapy as well. I have a lip scrub. I have a lip balm.
Wow.
I came up with a facial oil, and that's it for the female side. What happened by the wayside, I realized significant others started liking the body butter and the body scrub and asking.
This generation of men is into self-care.
Yes. So I started the scrub and the butter for the guys, and then I went into a beard and skin elixir, as well as a beard balm. So that is the total line for now.
Right.
Excellent.
Oh my goodness.
Excellent.
So how are you with your risk taking now?
Yeah.
Out
there for a little touch.
And how do people get your products? They have to message you online and you do deliveries?
Right now, that's what it is. Yeah. You can reach me on the platforms, Instagram, Facebook, or my cell phone number. And I get it to you, whether it's a courier or myself.
Nice.
And my product has been to Switzerland and Dubai.
Amazing.
Vegas. I'm like, oh my gosh, my little baby.
Oh, those sick, you know, get it on Pennywise too.
It's very easy with Pennywise. I think it's like people don't even understand how easy it is to get stuff into Pennywise.
Yeah.
Say less, you know, Neicy. Yeah, we think.
I do think it's like consignment or something.
Okay.
But let me not give any wrong information. And I know a few friends who said it's not that hard as people would think.
Right.
So as long as the product is good.
Y'all go check for yourself.
I must say that I am usually, ashamed to say, but I'm usually a little bit clueless when it comes to, you know, things that are happening around, you know, like products and stuff. And that's a name that I am aware of.
Really?
So, yes.
Oh, that is
like
awesome.
So like, you know, Nova Skin, I was like, I know of that.
Lovely.
I've seen the page. I think I probably even, you had anybody like doing ads for you? Would have like any...
Some people did some reviews.
Right, good.
Yeah, a couple
so
of people.
I saw reviews.
Yeah.
And I know of the line.
That's beautiful.
So,
Awesome. That's a
good
big
to
thing
hear.
for Shawna.
Well done, Sean.
Because you know what? People come, I mean, what? Who? Where? But
Don't worry, me too, girl. Sometimes I'm like, what?
Yes, right. So Kelly, we know that you started off as an artist. You mentioned it just now. You did music, and you were one half of the duo Too Intrigued with your sister Charlie Griffith, right? Tell us a little bit about that musical experience and how it has helped shape you as a person.
So, how do I start that? That definitely was just like a God-given talent. I started just singing one day. I liked music. I liked certain artists. Of course, Whitney Houston was one that I really, held in great esteem. And of course, my family members would hear me singing here and there around the house. Started doing screams like Mariah Carey and all these things. And
so you're a big singer then.
So they were like, all right. So, I mean, Charlene is one. She, she's a kind of nurturer and that kind of thing, my sister. And she said, you know what? Let's go to this vocal group called Youth Pulse. So we went, and that whole thing turned into years. That finished in, I think it was 2000. Met up with Chasu. I don't know if you guys know Chasu. Of course, Krystal don't know Chasu. And that took off from there. That was the beginning of To Intrigue. We started with doing background vocals for, everybody, Destras, the Bungee Garlands.
And anybody.
We went on tour with Rupi and all these people, and we decided, you know what, we're going to go to the States and pursue. And that, I think, is where the molding and the shaping for me as an artist and a person came. It's not for, I would say it's not for everybody. I think you have to know yourself before getting into that kind of industry, especially as a young female artist. So yeah, that was really, really challenging for me. Although I knew that I had what it takes, the talent, I guess people would say the looks or whatever. There are certain things that you need to go through, like the people that want to take advantage and all these things. And I just, that's where the breakdown was. Or I would say my strength started coming in terms like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do these things because, yeah.
Was it easier doing it like with your sister than solo?
Absolutely, absolutely. She's a lot more, for want of a better word, brazen than me. She's a lot more out there. I'm kind of like the introvert,
right?
The more, I don't want to say shy, but I'm very to myself. So it was a buffer having her there with me.
Yeah, nice. A comfort place.
Yes.
All right. So you founded Mirror Mirror and TKB, right? How did these two? I mean, I want to ask, how did you? Well, you mentioned it already in terms of making the transition from music to makeup artistry. But how did you come to be managing two companies, one on beauty and one on kickboxing?
Right. So, Mirror Mirror came first because I came back to Trinidad fully in 2011. I decided, you know what, I'm going to take a break from music. Back then, I always had something for beauty and makeup, back in secondary school. And then afterwards, I studied beauty and cosmetology and that kind of thing. So I always had that in me. And I decided, one carnival, a friend of ours from the States, like, I have some people coming down and I am booking you for makeup for them. I'm like, okay.
Yes.
And they liked it, and that's where that whole thing started professionally.
Your makeup always used to look on point to me. I was like, I would be looking at her and be like, how does she get her skin to look like that?
The body butter and the makeup skills.
Yes.
Skin is a big thing.
Because her skin was always clean and smooth and shiny. Even when she wasn't wearing that much makeup, I was like, bro, I need to learn what this girl doing,
Yeah. And I must give a shout out to Paula D'Souza because she is like my mentor. If anybody knows of Paula D'Souza, she is big ranking in the industry here in terms of makeup artistry.
Okay.
And yes, she is more editorial makeup, more natural looking. The skin has to be looking like perfection and that kind of thing. So she took me under her wing as well, and that is where my style of makeup started to really, TKB Total Kickbox, it's fairly new. I want to say 5-6 years. That is my husband's company that I'm the support for him.
Yeah.
So I do all the background stuff, I do all the media stuff and all of these things. So, excuse me. That is where that whole Total Kickbox came from. I was basically at the beginning the guinea pig. He had me doing the kickboxing and the videos, and we were like, okay, where I could get that, and that is where that whole thing
I
started.
see some definition in them arms too, so
I need to do some more kickboxing. Yes.
Nice,
All right.
man. Cool.
So, we spoke about the music before, and you're taking a little break. But when can we expect you to go back? Do you have a return date, or you're just going with the flow?
I absolutely do not have a return date. I am taking it more like when God says, when He leads me to something authentic, that is when I will know that it's time. But as of now, I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying my life, and I'm enjoying the healing process and the becoming of Kelly Nova. So
Lovely.
I'm just riding this
You're
journey
riding
right now.
anyway,
Yeah.
Indeed,
So what
indeed.
can we expect next? What's next on the agenda?
Literally Nova Skin. This is from ground up.
Right.
Of course, I've been getting a lot of offers to, do things with it abroad and here.
Yes.
But
Very nice.
how I am, it's like one step at a time.
Yes.
I don't want to get overwhelmed too fast.
We hear that.
But definitely, I want to take Nova Skin
Internationally.
yes.
Oh my gosh. That is
What advice can you give to young people, young new entrepreneurs who might be looking to follow on a similar path? A lot of people got really innovative and pivoted during the pandemic and came up with a lot of new ideas. What, as someone who is doing the damn thing, what advice can you give to someone following a similar path?
I saw a saying somewhere, I think it was social media, that said, feel the fear but do it anyway. And literally that is what I did, because I like for something to be perfect first. I wanted to look and sound great so that people won't have much critiquing. But I just jumped into this and like, you know what, let's do it.
Yeah.
And my heart was that first post of Nova Skin, I swear I was almost getting an anxiety attack.
Gosh.
But from there, everybody was like, and you know what? Sometimes they say, family members and people close to you don't support.
That has not been your experience.
Thank you so much to all my family members, all my friends, that I don't have to get them free thing, they're paying.
Wow, that is great.
That is a blessing.
So I really, really have to give thanks for the support. Vaughnette, Diane Hunt, Stacey Benjamin of Diane Carlton. It's so much support, and I truly believe it's because the product speaks for itself.
Yes, you
It's
have an
not no
excellent
hype
product.
thing, like, okay, my friend doing something or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
And
I
even
really
if that was the case, we welcome that, because we have friends who don't even support
Very
different
true.
stuff.
Very
you
true.
know. So where can we get all this goodness on the socials? Give us all the links. Tell us how to connect.
Instagram right now it's Novaskin 868, and Facebook it's Nova's Skin in all caps. You can definitely see the products there. You can get me on 7540810 for now. Right? So that's where you can,
Just now it will be 745 skin.
Exactly right.
All right, Kelly, we want to thank you so much for sharing with us and hanging out with us. But before you go, Kelly brought us some gifts, and I told her to wait until she came on the air. Yes,
it's just some samples.
We love
samples.
It's just some samples.
We are grateful.
Shawna know about these, Shawna know about these.
Of the main characters, the Nova Skin whipped body butter and
show
the
the
exfoliating scrub. Right.
I love the packaging though. Let's take a minute.
It smells so good. I done digging in my bag already.
It's just some samples.
Yes, that's fine. It's amazing.
Yo, show them.
Oh my God, yes, I'm
See?
smelling the butter. I'm smelling the butter.
Can you guys see the logo? Look at her beautiful face right there. Nova Skin.
And trust me, by the time you take a shower with the scrub and you put on that butter, your skin is going to, that glow from within.
Yes.
Yeah.
And guys, at the SAS event, Kelly was at the SAS event, and listen, her skin was glowing.
It's glowing
right now. You know,
You're representing for her product for sure.
I wanna demonstrate right now. So, put Ananias. So it's nice and whipped. We're gonna do a nice little review right now. All right, and it's soft to the touch. It's light and airy and fluffy, and guys, ooh,
texture.
Ooh.
Yes.
Texture.
It's lightweight.
Guys,
a little
I don't
goes
know
a long way.
I don't know if y'all could see how my
scent
skin
is
is
this?
shining.
It's the Signature Nova Skin.
Y'all seeing this?
Because today,
This is my other hand, and this
Yeah.
is the hand with it.
to date, I've been a
Ooh.
shea butter girl. I
Ah.
have been a shea butter girl, but I can tell there's something else going on here.
Yeah. A
Oh,
lot
and the
more.
scrub is here too. Oh,
Yes.
Kelly. I'm going to use this
Chris, how your
tonight.
hand blowing so? How your hand blowing so? Okay.
Nova Skin, baby.
Yes.
Nova Skin, baby.
But definitely get those products in Pennywise or the Superfarm. We need them in commercial spots.
Yes.
You know?
Definitely soon come.
So, Kelly, once more, thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies.
But, guys, keep it locked because you know how it goes. Up next, we have Sip and Spill, where we're going to put Kelly in the hot box. And ask
We
her
going
all
and find out how these creams
Ready
and things translated into the
out of timing questions for you, Kelly. Shawna, what you have to say?
Ready yourself.
Ready yourself, right?
so good.
Keep it low right here to O.U.R Radio.fm.
Like a perfume. Something.
Now we celebrate. Celebrate with Caribbean. Whenever, wherever, whenever. Celebrate with Caribbean. Whenever, wherever, whenever. Celebrate with Caribbean. Now we celebrate. Celebrate with Caribbean.
Caribbean Tropical Hard Cider. Drink responsibly.
Wine if you catch the feeling, baby, you know what the deal is. I know a way to go. We in the mall for a vibe. I know you want to free it. All the designs revealing. Don't let me waste the time. Come along for the ride. And before you know, yeah, it's up in the air. You back it up right there. Show me your love and bring that waist to mine. Oh, you're pretty like shine up in my face when you laugh at me. Your body tight, you it off for me. Fall in our best line and give thanks for life.
Short and sweet, we're back with more Island Girl Talk. We are your hosts, Krystal, Khayne,
Shawna.
Neicy.
and we have the beautiful Kelly Nova in the house. Right? She's our Island Girl Spotlight for today. She just gave us some lovely samples from her Nova Skin skincare line. We got a nice body butter and a scrub. I'm going to use it tonight. Guys, my skin
Tonight
is
is the night.
glowing. My skin is glowing because of
Smells
her.
really good.
Yes. But before we get into Sip and Spill, we just want to wrap up with the chat room.
Yeah.
Right? We don't want to leave our peeps out. So let's see where we got. We have, I think it's where Dennis T got in. Dennis was like, I reach, so we. We have Sour Diesel saying, drop a link now. He needs the link. And then we have, lastly, we have Kyle Grant saying, tell me what you want right now is the hardest 2 and 3 track of all that. Tell me what you want right now.
Oh my God.
We all know about that.
That's how
Oh,
we
you know
run
about
the
them
tune.
thing.
Right?
Oh, you know about
it too.
yes.
Tell me what
Oh,
you
you know
want
about them
right
thing.
now. It was the no for me.
My
Oh my
goodness.
gosh. There's a nice video too.
Yes.
I remember watching y'all on TV and going like, I want to be like that. I want to be like that. I want to be like
You're
that.
doing that in Trinidad? Yeah, we could do that.
Big up Ellen Purnell for that
it's,
video.
And then it's your sister Charlene that put me onto my management, you know, my first official proper management, yes. Yes, it was
Big up
it was Charlie and Charlie. Now she goes by Charlie Griffith, but it used to be Charlene Griffith. Telling you, big sister vibes right there. But guys, now it's time for Sip and Spill. Cheers! Cheers with Kelly there. Awesome. where we ask some seriously out of time questions, and our guest has to sip and then spill. But before we do, let's please enjoy the crisp refreshment of Caribbean Hard Cider, an all-natural, gluten-free blend crafted with champagne yeast. Caribbean Tropical Hard Cider is available in original, pineapple, and rosé. Wherever, celebrate with Caribbean. Drink responsibly.
Neicy,
We have
almost.
Neicy in the corner trying to mimic me. And then that we commence. Guys, who wants to go first?
I'm gonna kick it off.
And yes.
You ready?
Yes, ready yourself.
Would you return to someone who has been unfaithful to you?
So what's the rules now?
You're sipping first and then you're spilling.
Yeah,
Or sipping first. I like
Yes,
that.
sip and spill.
So you can relax the mind and then flow the words.
Would I return to somebody that has been unfaithful?
You don't think so? All right, fast and rapid. Have you ever
Don't play up.
slept with someone and then regretted it?
Yeah.
Of course. You didn't sip though. I gotta get them
Okay,
bubbles, you know,
sip
because it's a niece. Niece, what you have for her there?
Do you think confessions are a way to strengthen a relationship?
That one is wow.
Yeah.
Confessions.
Yes. A way to strengthen.
It depends on the maturity of the couple.
Right. That's
Okay.
a good response.
All right.
All right.
Would you get in an open relationship with someone? Nah.
Hell no.
Monogamy all the way.
So, what would you do with $1 million at this point?
$1 million.
Yes.
That sounds so.
I want to know how you're spending that money. I know some going into Nova, don't lie.
Oh yeah, definitely the skin getting some little improvements, some little details
Yeah,
and stuff. But just secure property and
Right.
you know, that kind of
The
thing.
business
Make
vibe.
sure the family okay. But I mean, $1 million right now.
It's not.
Yeah. So
But give me
you
it
gotta think
still now.
smart.
I go figure out.
Yeah, that's the nicest question you're getting from me.
Have you ever had any encounters with the law?
One tiny one. That was at the beginning of the pandemic. I went on a line down Mayor Road. Driving back down, I didn't have on the mask. And we trying to tell the police, yo, we are sisters in the car. We don't need no mask.
They want to hear that.
They don't want to hear that. So they wrote up the ticket. And I threw it out same way. Sorry, police officer, but no, sorry. Yeah, that was the little tiny ones.
There's some badger clear on the show, boy. All right, have you ever crushed on someone and they did not know?
Of course. Ever since little girl, you know, you have crushes and stuff. Yeah, of course, man.
All right.
I'm
Neicy,
sure
you have
tell
one?
us, see me something. What are your thoughts on foreplay?
It's needed. It's needed. What are you doing if foreplay not again?
No foreplaying.
Rapid
Foreplay,
fire.
not foreplaying.
Rapid fire. Have you ever been spanked and did you like it?
Yes.
Oh gosh. Kelly, we did, but what you get?
And have you
Wait,
passed?
nah, I need to sip.
Yes.
Yes.
Drink, get a gun by this time. Have you ever passed gas in an intimate moment?
Shawna, I love this question.
Yes, I did, you know.
Oh gosh. A lot of people. would.
How I recover? Like, it
You play it
happened
off,
by.
All right.
Would you be with someone who is extremely hairy? Does hair bother you?
favorite Krystal.
I love a hairy man.
No, I don't know about extremely hairy.
Hairy legs, hairy arms, hairy chest, hairy back, hairy tummy.
Hairy chest, nothing.
I love a hairy man. The only thing I would shave is the armpits, but everything else hairy.
Yeah. It doesn't matter to me, but it can
Well
be like
said.
extra, like Chewbacca kind of.
No.
Yeah. No.
But still hairy enough to be like animal.
Oh gosh.
I
Chris, I will buy a gorilla for you.
Yes. Nice
That's too hairy.
So you, all right, go to Niece.
No, I will end with this one.
Have you ever experienced prejudice
Um.
or racism or anything like that?
Yeah, racism. Definitely racism. I distinctly remember being on tour with Rupi, and we went to Tennessee, I think.
And somebody had a similar story with that,
And
that
we
country.
were walking the street, and somebody in a van, some guys in a van, speeding and said the N-word, shouted the N-word. I'm like,
This is similar to Nigel
That's what I'm
Rojas.
saying.
And
I think it's the same
it's
area
in the
too.
same part of
But
America
they-
as well, in the
with
south.
bananas and monkeys and stuff and whatever.
Oh, boy.
So we're not going there.
Do you have a sweet spot you like to be kissed?
Oh
Really
my.
drama.
let me sip on that
Oh my.
And the skin. What part of the skin?
What part of the skin?
What part of the skin?
All parts of the skin, huh? But I mean, the neck is nice.
All right.
Yes. Have you ever made your parents cry?
Nah.
Good girl.
Good. Rest in peace, mommy. Never.
Do you consider yourself to be religious or spiritual?
Spiritual, definitely.
Explain.
Okay.
I have been doing a lot of observations and research and stuff, and realized certain things about religion that I really can't be a part of.
Okay.
So spirituality,
Enough said.
definitely.
Okay. Enough said. You're related in the pool?
Let me sip.
This is the last round. After Shawna, Neicy, then me.
Wait, I have one good one.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a little tinkle.
A little tinkle.
But I come on the pool after.
You came out.
Neicy?
So you spread the germs and you left.
Oh my goodness. I can't. Okay, people.
We bought that toy.
Go.
Niece?
Do you believe in life after that?
In a sense, I believe that there is.
We are getting a call. Kelly,
More questions coming
ready
for you.
yourself because we have no control what anybody asks you.
More questions.
Welcome to Island Girl Talk. State your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, Queen.
Hi. Give me some juice then, Jones. Katie sees in the house and she's coming with a question. Ready yourself, Kelly. You know,
Hi,
ready for
Kelly.
a question.
Hi, how are you?
I'm
Katie
good.
C
How
was
are
the
you?
lovely our fourth in fluorescent green on
Right,
Sunday.
yes, I remember
Yes.
her. Yes, hi.
So I have, of course, two questions. Do you want the kidsy question first, or do you want the funny one? Or I guess a regular one.
Any which way you like. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's go.
How would you describe your relationship with yourself in one word?
Yeah, she does that.
Ever evolving. Ever evolving.
Evolving.
Yeah.
I like that.
Nice, nice.
Evolving and healing.
Oh, cool. She come good on the spot there with that one boy.
I wonder what she's going to ask next.
I think Krystal needs to answer could answer that question as well.
Oh gosh.
We don't like
I
that. She do
like that
thing.
word, you know.
Katie,
Evolving.
oh
I want to
gosh.
steal that one.
Okay, let me go.
What was the question?
What was it?
One
word to
How would you
describe
describe
ourselves.
yourself? How would you describe your relationship with yourself in one word?
Improving.
Yeah, I am not going to piggyback off of Kelly's idea. Because she come real good there. So I
Improving.
would just come with this and I'm growing.
I was gonna say healing. I would say healing.
Healing.
Yeah,
Yes.
Katie, we
Nice,
cheated.
nice.
We sorry.
What's the next question, Kate?
Would you rather play a villain or a hero, and why?
You mean play it in what capacity? In a movie or in real life or what?
Let's put it in real life.
Hero.
Definitely
Hero.
a hero.
Yeah, hero.
Yeah.
But if it's in the movie, I don't mind being the bad
Yeah,
guy.
I was just thinking, I wonder if I
It's
want to be a
exciting,
villain boy.
I would be the hero that defends the truth and honor. So I get to be
I
bad
would-
for the right reasons.
I would want to be like Batman.
I get to be bad for the right reasons.
Like Batman.
Yeah, I want to be, dark and twisted too, but still for the betterment of society. Yeah.
I just want to be bad. If
I feel
it's movies,
that.
I want to be bad.
I feel that.
Yeah, that's the more interesting one, right? More
Yeah.
exciting one.
Yeah.
That was some good stuff.
Cool
ones,
questions,
Katie, as
kids.
You
usual.
should add them questions to this list, Chris.
Yes.
We had to add
We can't stay long, but we had to keep it moving. You see, anytime.
Send Chris the questions, right, Katie?
I have one more.
Go ahead, Sean.
What is your greatest fear?
That's a huge one though. Wow. My greatest fear is not really stepping up and doing the work of being my true self. You know, like doing the homework.
You're
and
real good,
Living
you know.
authentically.
like dig deep, doing the bad. That nobody wants to
The
do.
dirty work,
The
yeah.
dirty
Yes.
work.
You're down in the grat.
I hear
just
that.
The grit.
come up like real powerful. Like
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
can talk to you kind of
Yeah.
Because you did
Yes.
the healing work now.
Indeed, I
Yes,
like
I
that.
like that.
I have one more question, but we have Marv Monty saying, "Oh my gosh, like Kelly doesn't age. Wow, last time I saw you was almost 20 years ago. But how we lighten you up so you're giving away age in a sense, you know."
Well, you know what? I'm very proud of my age. I just turned 40 in July.
Snaps.
I hope to look as good as you
Right?
40.
We have Fire Wolfman in the house as well saying, "Shawna, have me cracking up here. Bad ends." Yes, indeed.
Bad.
Kelly, we have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a stymy one because it's a sip and spill.
That is culp.
Have you ever, have you ever done the deed in a public place? And if so, where? We prying today.
How public we talking though?
Outside somewhere.
Public.
Yeah.
Ooh. Care to divulge? No. You can always plead the fifth.
We played in the fifth on
All
that
right. It's not Maracas lookout, right?
one. Oh my God, no.
Yeah, that's that one there.
I already shared this in a previous episode, so leave me alone. All right, guys, it's a wrap for Sip and Spill.
Yes,
let's toast one more time.
you.
Cheers.
She did well.
Cheers,
That
ladies.
mixture of
Awesome.
entrepreneur and artist, that media training on point.
Yes, aye. Guys, keep it locked. We still have a little more show up for you. Keep it locked to Island Girl Talk right here on OURradio.fm. We've got Let's Talk Trans coming up with the lovely Neicy.
Now we celebrate. Celebrate with Caribbean. Whenever, wherever, whenever. Celebrate with Caribbean. Whenever, wherever, whenever. Celebrate with Caribbean. Now we celebrate. Celebrate with Caribbean.
Caribbean Tropical Hard Cider. Drink responsibly.
Yeah. Amen. Talk to God. Yeah. Telling them feel that. Amen. Talk
Yo, Juice, first you wanna know how I blew up. But first you gotta know how I grew up. Smart kid, yeah, but still a big screw up. Man, when I was one down, it was two up. I made do with, but there was only few of. Few friends, but a whole lot of shooters. I realized they couldn't do nothing to us, so one by one, man, they f***ed the whole crew up. And then fuck push y'all to them whole food chew up. Love how you came in the game and you changed it. Channeled the pain in the music and pop champagne with the same damn that you came with. You go the distance. If something is out of place, take your time and rearrange it. Just stay persistent. This shit is already written. All you had to do was claim it, dog, yeah.
I did it, I made it, yeah. I saw what I wanted, I shot for the top and I claimed it, yeah. Look at me, mama, look at your son, he on the news, yeah. Did this for us, did it for me, mostly for you, yeah. All my life, we was down, now we up. Talk to God, telling him fill my cup. I did it, I made it, yeah. I claimed it,
Hey,
yeah.
wait, now they want hit me for the hookup. See my name in the stars when I look up. Man, I caught a wave and I run with it. I'ma give it back when I'm done with it. Have fun with it. They lurking, they don't wanna follow me. They gon' call me the wave or the prodigy. I do what I want, no apologies. Do it till my dad say he proud of me. Searching for the racks, yeah. So I'm never home, but I see you when I'm back there. Shorty bird sack, yeah. You know where to find me. Woman in the trap, yeah. I try to tell them, no matter the obstacle, anything's possible. It's undeniable. Inspiring you even when I ain't trying to. I did it, I made it, yeah. I saw what I wanted, I shot for the top and I claimed it, yeah. Look at me, mama, look at your son, he on the news, yeah. Did this for us, did it for me, mostly for you, yeah. All my life, we was down, now we up. Talk to God, telling him fill my cup. I did it, I made it, yeah. I claimed it, yeah. Talk your shit.
Love, la 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 love, la la la, ooh la 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 love, ooh love, love, la 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 love, la 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 love. We are all humans, different stories to tell. We've all been through it, our own versions of hell. And if we would listen to what one has to say, it's all the same struggles, just a different face. There is one thing that we all wanna feel, and that makes us matter, that makes us real. And baby, yes, there is one thing that we all need, and that doesn't say our color, race, or creed. We all need love, yeah, 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 yeah. We all need love, yeah, 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 yeah. We all need love, yeah, 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 yeah. We all need love.
And welcome back to Island Girl Talk. You were just listening to
Krystal Khayne. Oh, we were listening to Rosie. we were listening to Rose with We All Need Love.
Yes, yes, yes. You know, we support our own over here.
Why did
it's your girl Neicy.
Shawna and Krystal Khayne, which is what I thought you were saying. Sorry.
I know I catch you off guard. And you guys, this is where we winding down in the show. But wait, we have some stuff in store for you guys. It's all about
Let's Talk Trends,
where we keep you guys updated with what's trending.
I almost said the empowerment better.
She hit us the wine and down now.
I realize. Yeah. So you guys are gonna keep it short and sweet. And we have a lot of new releases trending, and I noticed in this trend, in the trending,
right,
with our younger artists either collabing or paying homage to the older heads. So let's kick it off with
nice.
Calypso one of the youngest calypso winners, Aaron Duncan, who recently released a brand new song with one of his calypso idols and the calypso king of the world, the mighty Sparrow.
Yes, well, I tell you, I live in the rock,
and it's called Legacy. There's a whole video out. And what's the beautiful part about it? Aaron said prior, earlier this year, that he dreamt that he would did a collab with it, and now that dream is coming alive.
That is amazing.
So head across to YouTube and check out Aaron Duncan, Calypsonian of today, meets the Calypso king of the world in their first ever collab.
Yes.
Legacy.
Yes.
Nice.
Big up you, Aaron.
Yes. And also, we have to shout out one of our previous Guys Perspective co-host, Michael Teja, who also released a song called Hall of Fame, where it's so rich in terms of the culture. But I could definitely hear this song being transformed into Panorama.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
The Panorama side of it, because he's paying homage to the artists that came from Neicy, who they are basically standing on the shoulders of those talents. You know, they paved the way. You know, the David Rudder, the Calypso Rose, and a whole host of them. If you listen, his new song, Hall of Fame, you know, it's old meets new, but you know, he doing it in Michael Teja style now.
Right.
But definitely representing, and I could see this becoming a panorama, something.
Yes.
So big up to Michael Teja, also touching down with big up to Aaron Duncan, and that's it really nice to see when the older heads, you know, collab, as I said, with the younger heads, but also like give them that nudge in the right direction and also support with what they're doing. So that's it for the Let's Talk trend when it comes to the music side of things, and we are officially 1 week away from Tobago Carnival. Kicks off next week. We already seeing all the artists I'm touching on in Tobago.
Yes.
It is literally less than 7 days away from the first ever carnival in Tobago. The streets are buzzing, the eyes are seeing, the ears are hearing. A lot of things is happening, and we're definitely looking forward to support our sister Isle. It's going to be the first of many more to come, and right after that we head into come back Trinidad for Trinidad Carnival, the Mecca. You know?
Bacchanal after Bacchanal.
So definitely, if you're all heading across to Tobago, make sure and be safe. Take a lot of pics. Let me boost it up and show the world that Trinidad and Tobago has a lot to offer, but also Tobago, as they're stepping out to do their own thing, we also want to give them that support.
Yes,
so be safe, be sound, and definitely represent.
Awesome.
And that's it for
Let's Talk Trends.
Is how we have the
one more. We're gonna go to
collective voice, because we know what's next.
So we're going to do one more quick break, right? And we'll be back with the lovely Neicy again to bring us some nice, good vibes and to take us throughout the rest of the week, all right? With empowerment. We'll be right back right here on O.U.R Radio. Don't have fun.
Now we celebrate. Celebrate with Caribbean. Whenever we celebrate. Celebrate with Caribbean. Whenever we celebrate, wherever we celebrate, whenever celebrate with Caribbean. Now we celebrate, celebrate with Caribbean.
Caribbean Tropical Hard Cider. Drink responsibly.
And to be honest, I don't even feel prepared for this. Hey, you in the mirror, I've been feeling scared. And to be honest, I don't even feel prepared for this. Yeah, I'm trying to face my fears, but it feel more like musical chairs. Yeah, I'm 23 years, so should I talk about it?
I'm gonna put on my new hat. You're like, you guys, this is where I come in to clear the place and the space and give you a nice little token and a gem to take you through the rest of your week with what, ladies?
The Empowerment Minute.
Woosa.
Yes, I
like how that feels.
It always feels
I
good.
don't like how Charlie they get in on the woosa action.
Oh gosh, she had to go.
She would enjoy it.
Kelly.
Yeah. Oh my bad. Oh my.
It's they all look alike. It's
Yes. Kelly Nova Skin. Right. So you guys, it's all about the Empowerment Minute, and we have a nice quote for you guys.
Talk to
and
us.
today's quote resonates with our topic of the day to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, if you have a strong purpose in life,
right,
you don't have to be pushed. Your passion will drive you there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? By Roy T. Bennett, who's a well-known quote, enthusiastic. If you have a very strong purpose in life, you don't have to be pushed. Your passion will drive you there. What are your thoughts on that?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think the first course of action will be figuring out what your purpose is. And as you said, once your purpose really hits you differently, as you mentioned, you no longer need to be pushed because everything will fall into place.
Yeah. I do believe that passion is what drives you, and it doesn't feel, because it's something that is in you.
Yeah.
You know, you don't feel, it doesn't feel like work one, and you don't feel, you know, like it's tedious, pressure to do this or da. No. The passion is what drives you. It gives you a purpose. Yeah. It all feels like play, not work.
I totally agree. I have nothing more to add to that. I have nothing more to add to that. I wanted to just highlight somebody, because this is the empowerment segment, and I saw this flyer. A friend of mine sent it to me, and she is having her 3rd annual fundraiser, which is a fashion and tea show. But it's the cause that stood out to me, because it's in aid of her getting a prosthetic arm for Trisha St. John. And the fashion show is called Motivated in Motion. So you could definitely look out for it on social media.
What's it called?
Motivated in Motion.
Okay.
Right? It's a 3rd annual fashion show and tea party fundraiser, and it's in aid for her to get a new prosthetic arm. Her name is Trisha St. John. It's happening on Sunday, the 30th of October at the Tyler Smith Street in San Fernando. So you could definitely just look out for the name.
And what is the person's account where we would get the tickets or information? Like, who can we message to get these tickets?
Trisha St. John on social media, or look for Motivated in Motion. I think they have their page and stuff out. Yeah.
I will post Motivated in Motion.
In Motion, yeah.
And we post it up in our stories.
Yeah, I can post it up
for
in
those
the
of you who are
stories.
interested.
But I like the cause of it. She had her arm amputated, so she's gonna, it's in aid of her getting a new prosthetic arm.
All right, lovely.
Yeah. So just wanted to kind of shed light on that and empower the whole movement.
Awesome.
So that's
a wrap, Denise.
Yeah.
And with that, we wrap. Guys, that's it for Island Girl Talk. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we're your host, Krystal, Khayne,
Trinidad, Shawna,
Neicy.
Yes, and guys, even though we leave, and be sure to still like and share this stream so that more people could still watch the show in retrospect. All right, it doesn't have to be live for people to watch it, so still share this to your social media. Help us out and share with your friends, let them see what our show is about as we continue to try and empower women and create a space for women and our voices here on Island Girl Talk. Right,
before we go, anything our peeps are saying before we leave them? Because
we just have one.
Bad.
We have Fire Wolfman saying, here on work, and I like studying sleep about bed. That's it. That was it for the chat room. Guys, thank you so much as always. Be sure to join us next week, Wednesday, from 12 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. right here on Island Girl Talk, only on O.U.R radio.fm. Island Girl Talk, where women are free to simply be. Unapologetically. Keep it classy, guys. Bye.
Share my story. They go tell me, boy, that can't be true. They don't know about my road to glory. They don't know the things that I've been through. When you watch my smile, don't think I don't know pain. And the sun will shine, but sometimes it will rain. Walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I go brave. And the whole way through, I give my thanks and praise. And that's why blessings and blessings are falling on me. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Blessings and blessings are falling on me. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Blessings and blessings are falling on me. Blessings and blessings are falling on me. Blessings are falling on me. From a rise for the birds that sing in the trees, for the food we reap from the land, and eyes behold the beauty. I'm a beautiful twin island. Big go good and love Trinidad, Jamaica, Grenada, the whole Caribbean. Send me and keep me heart clean even when the world gets so cold and mean. Through the rise and the falls, I'm a faith stand tall and strong, Nalene. Me never ever lose hope even when me have to cope, keep a smile on me. And me have to live happy and free. Big up to the Almighty. Blessings and blessings are falling on me. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Blessings and blessings are falling on me. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Blessings and blessings are falling on me. Blessings and blessings are falling on me. Blessings are falling on me. From a rise I'm on and give thanks. For my 2 foot and my 2 hands. For the birds that sing in the trees. For the food we reap from the land.